brother and I were proud to be the first pairing in this new resource. The program has gone on to be recognized as one of the top 25 Big Brother, Big Sister programs in the country. All of this might never have happened were it not for the foresight and dedication of the late Monsignor Donald McAndrews. The program soon began creating activities for the pairs. There were only 4 matches then, but there would soon be many more. 2 caveats emerged. We learned that we didn't need to create activities for our matches. Rather, we learned to integrate them into our daily lives. We also learned that we were not recruited to become glorified babysitters, but professionally supervised role models. Along the way, we formed bonds that lasted a very long time and touched the future. I'm grateful to have played a small role in making that future a reality.
Thanks so much, Rich. And Rich has been involved with the organization for decades, so great to see and hear from him. And don't forget, you can get involved here by donating. You can scan the QR code. You can go to our website or donate at 570-228-2303. We are back here in the studio with our next guests on the annual Monroe Telethon. We have now Mark Rogers, who is Director of Operations at Royal Chemical, and Philip St. James, CSR and Community Relations Lead at Sanofi. Gentlemen, thank you both for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So this is an exciting time. Let's just start with something easy, and I'll go to you, Phil. Just talk about being here and being part of this special day.
So I was a big brother. I've been a big 4 times. And so the experience for me has been something that I'll never forget. Unfortunately, I didn't have a big growing up. I came from a single parent home, an absent father, and it was something I wish I could have done more of. But as a result of me being a big, it's made a huge impact on the littles' lives that I've been involved in. One of my littles contacted me for 25, 30 years later. He's got his own family. My name is Philip Brian St. James, and he had 2 kids. He named one Philip and one Brian. So it just kind of tells you the impact that you have just spending a little time with them on the weekends.
And I think that's a good point, Phil, to kind of hit home to our viewers, is that, you know, when you do this work with a child, when you kind of do that mentoring, that it's not necessarily a thing that takes up a ton of time. So explain what that commitment is like for maybe someone that's interested in getting involved with the organization.
It doesn't take long at all. You know, I had the opportunity. My shop teacher took an interest in me. As I said, I wasn't part of the formal program, but he took an interest in me at 14, and that was a formative years for me. And he came by on the weekends, and we spent a half an hour together, you know, on a couple weekends. And here I am years and years later, I still remember those weekends, you know, with him. Of all the things that have happened to me in my life since then, those stand out the most.
Now, it's great to have these supportive community organizations and groups to make these matches happen, to support the kids in our community. And explain a little bit more how Sanofi supports Big Brothers, Big Sisters of NEPA.
So Sanofi is a great company. I know it's a shameless plug, but they're a great company because they believe in mentorships, personally and professionally. So personally, they support it because they believe that mentors help you to advance your career. So I have a pool of mentors that I can use at Sanofi to help me navigate my career and help me to accelerate my career goals. But personally, professionally, that's professionally. Personally, they allow me to support this organization that allows people to get involved and be mentors to kids that wouldn't have the opportunity to have somebody to spend some valuable time with them like I didn't. But you know how valuable it is. You know, somebody said earlier, you just need a little bit of time. It makes a huge difference. And
you have a very unique program. We know Sanofi is an organization that deals a lot with science, and there's a great program you have called Students to Science. Explain a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so Students to Science is a program that we offer kids to try to help to close the opportunity gaps in STEM education, because there's a lack of people of color in STEM, and so we want to bring about awareness to that to try to help fill that gap.
That's a great thing, and good to see that involvement in the community. And it's nice when your company supports you to have the ability to get out there and do these wonderful things. Well, you know, Phil is working for Sanofi. He's also a Telethon co-chair, and so is Mark Rogers, who is here as well. And Mark, you're from the Monroe Regional Board. You have a lot to do out here in this portion of, you know, Big Brothers, Big Sisters of NEPA, this particular county and this region. Talk about your experience on the board and how long you've been aboard now.
I was board member for about 3.5 years. It's a great experience. The people on the board are fantastic, really dedicated to the cause. Try to generate a lot of interest in the community, participating in events like the Bowl for Kids' Sake and the golf event that they do, and of course this telethon.
You know, and that's an exciting thing as well, the return of Bowl for Kids' Sake coming back. And, you know, you mentioned the involvement by the folks here on the Monroe board. I know I joined the organization about 4 years ago now, and right away I can see in the Monroe region that there were so many people involved in the community, so many great community programs to help children in need. So it's really great to see that. And, you know, Mark, through your experience on the board and working in the community, talk about the importance that you've seen of one-on-one mentoring.
It's invaluable. A lot of these kids don't have anybody to look up to, really. So anybody they get that has interest in them and can spend time with them and kind of be specifically for them for a small period of time, a couple of times a month, makes a big difference in their life. I mean, he spoke eloquently about it. You know, just a few moments, for these kids to see, how to conduct themselves and how to learn from somebody that's been there before.
And I know both of you gentlemen talk about the wonderful opportunities for children, the mentorship, the relationships that happen, the guidance that happens to help kids in need in our community. And of course, we're here today because we're trying to raise funds and awareness for the organization. Of course, to get involved, a number of different ways you could donate, including scanning the QR code, going to the website, or giving us a call. But, for those that don't necessarily want to maybe open their wallets today, for whatever reason, maybe they're having a tough time with inflation or whatever it may be, there's other ways you can get involved, plan ahead, and think about fun ways, Mark. We have, of course, we mentioned about the Bowl for Kids' Sake. You do a wonderful golf tournament out here. Talk about some of the events going on to support the organization as well.
Yeah, I mean, the bowling event is basically an all-day event where you put a team together and come in and just have a great time. Usually food is provided, drinks, things like that. It's a good time. All the proceeds go to the program. And the golf tournament, usually in the fall, is a great time. You put your foursome together, you come out, you golf for the day, have a dinner afterward, and have a great time.
If you could miss work, help out kids in need, and get to golf, I mean, how do you beat that combination, right?
That's the way to go.
That's a good time. Tell us a little bit about Royal Chemical and how Royal Chemical supports as well.
Yeah, so we've been involved for about 5 or 6 years now, supporting mostly the events, the golf tournament especially. That's the one that the company really gets behind, bring a lot of people in from our customers, our suppliers. Our ownership group comes in for the day and spend some time generating some money for the cause.
That's great. We'd love to have so much support because at the end of the day, when we shoot for our goal of $50,000, of course, it's the individual donations, the $10, the $25, the $50, whatever it is that you can afford or, perhaps set aside in time. And of course, there's so many wonderful community organizations, companies that are operating here, not only in Monroe County, but Northeastern Pennsylvania that support the organization. So again, a couple easy ways to do your part here on the annual telethon. You can certainly go to our website and donate there. You can give us a call at 570-228-2303 or donate through the QR code. Coming up next, we have a very special performance. We'll be back in just
Hi everybody, I am Robin Schneider and I'm so excited to perform in the Big Brothers Big Sisters Telethon. This next song is the classic Time After Time Cyndi Lauper. These are the young men and young women that are going to make a difference in the days to come. As an artist, sometimes I like to take a classic and kind of spin it on something that they might understand. Big Brothers Big Sisters is making such a difference in Monroe County and all over. Be a part of it today. Give online. Call the number on your screen. Don't be afraid. Every little bit helps. Let's do this together, time after time. Can't stop me now, I'm a soldier. No mind games now that I'm older. Living my life right like I told you. Running by my faith and a little bit bolder. You stood tall when I fell down. Picked up my heart off the cold ground. Said I'm not lost, but I've been found. I never gotta worry about a thing with a mind sound. My heart still beats when I hear you. My eyes can see with a clear view. I fall behind, 'cause your love is all I need. Let's continue to give. Go right now to the phones. Let's call in Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and give in 2023 like we've never given before. Make a difference in this generation.
The first time I met David, it was within a school setting. I saw he was a very eager kid, very motivated kid, and he was into the program. So when I introduced myself to him and told him a little bit about my background, he found that I was a Marine. He told me he wanted to be a Marine, so right away we clicked.
I saw a connection like that, you know, because as somebody who served in the Marines, I could ask him questions that my recruiter cannot tell me.
A lot of what inspired me to do what I do with the Big and Blue program came from my two daughters. They were asking me, Dad, why is there so much tension? Why do I see so much negativity within the police department and the news?
People see in the news that they're doing bad, but it's important that you get to see how they are, that they're not just some other cop behind a uniform, you know, they're just another human being like us.
Well, this is my third season doing the Big and Blue program, so I've known him for about 3 years. And throughout those years, I've seen him become a more positive kid, confident kid. David has inspired me as well. And my two daughters, they see the change in me. They see that, wow, you always want to help kids.
For him, when I see him, I feel like he's somebody different. He's not just a police officer, he's somebody else, not in uniform.
We are back live at the 37th annual Telethon for Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Northeastern Pennsylvania here in Monroe County. We're excited that you're joining us, and we have a lot of people to thank, which we'll be doing over the next 3.5 hours left in our telethon. So many people came together to make this production work, so we've got a lot to talk about over the next few hours. Of course, we're here for the children. We're here for the unique mentoring relationships that are critical in the lives of those that are young and that they're in their formative years growing. And of course, we do need your support for this. And we have it through some folks like ESSA, AmeriHealth, Carnitas, Northeast, Pocono Mountain. We have a couple other organizations. And you know, as we're looking at these sponsors that make this happen and support Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Northeast PA, don't forget you too can join in the effort by going to beabigmonroe.com or giving us a call at 570-228-2303. Someone else who does a lot for the organization is Wally Eifert. And Wally, we appreciate you being here on the annual telethon.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
Now, talk a little bit about your history with the organization. I asked, what is your formal job title? And you said that
I'm retired.
You're retired. You're enjoying life.
I
But
am.
you have put a lot of effort, I'm sure, into the organization. So talk about how long you've been involved and what kind of motivated you to get involved with Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
The first time I had a little, I was 28
Okay.
and he was 12. And I knew I was living in Altoona, knew I should be doing something for the community, and had a good friend that was on the board of Big Brothers. And the more he talked about it, it's like, I think I can do that. That's not a problem. So that's when I got involved with Jesse. He was 12, I was 28. And that was in Altoona. And then the second time was in Hazleton. And I was concerned because at that point I'm 58. And it's like, I don't know, I remember the things that I did with Jesse and active, and can I keep up and can I still provide benefit for a little? So that's when I matched up with Kenny Garcia. He was 8, I was 58, so there was a big spread there. But it really worked out well, thank goodness.
And I'm sure you could say, Wally, you know, you get to a point where, you know, maybe your work responsibilities are slowing down and you want to still do something. You want to make a difference. You want to stay active. And I think when you look at, you know, volunteering for the organization, I mean, I know I'm on the board of directors, the governing board for Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Northeastern Pennsylvania. And when we get together and we do things like, you know, Bowl for Kids' Sake that's coming back this year, the golf tournament that happens out here in Monroe County, the fundraisers, the benefits, the information sessions, even things like the annual telethon here, I'm sure you can agree, once you donate your time, and really it could be whatever you can handle, it doesn't have to be a tremendous amount of time or commitment, but you know, I think, Wally, you'd agree on this for sure, is that when you're done doing what you do, you feel good about yourself, you feel good about what you've done.
You really do. And that's the other thing, that people think it's an allotted time. It's supposed to be this much time each week. Sometimes it's more time. Sometimes it's less time, depending on the little's commitments and the big's commitments. But it all works out. It could flex into that. And you do. You feel good about it.
Now, as far as the stories that you saw happen, now as you mentioned you had one mentorship that you did, then you got involved in another. How was it like? I mean, it had to be rewarding to you to see the child kind of grow and change. And what were some of the results and things that had happened with your relationships?
Jesse, and I was 28, so I wasn't sure how I was supposed to handle all this. I took him to, he wanted to go to college, and he wasn't sure how he was going to go to college. So now he's maybe 14, 15. I took him to the, not the reserve center, but where you enlist. And I said, if you want to go to college, the only way you're going to do it is going through the service. And I thought it would just be a nice experience. We'll talk, and the recruiter, and I knew the recruiter, and Jesse was there. And then, like 6 months later, no, not 6 months, but when he was able to, he said, I've enlisted. I got so frightened, because it's like, what did I, encourage, and how's it going to, but it worked out so good because of the kind of guy that Jesse is.
Well, and it's great that you had those results, and you had that, kind of. It's funny how you mentioned that feeling. You were scared. You were scared for someone that you developed such a great relationship with. Yep. And it's a thing where we talk about donating during this telethon. We talk about the support from the community partners. We talk about people doing individual donations. But sometimes what we're looking for is just the donation of time. And certainly don't sell that portion short. And Wally, for maybe someone on the fence that's heard of Big Brothers Big Sisters, they're not sure about getting involved. You mentioned the time commitment might be minimal, but talk a little bit about just kind of doing it as something that makes you feel good.
Makes you feel good, but the other thing is, it doesn't have to be a special event. Some of the best times that Kenny and I had were just hanging out, me helping him with his homework. My wife's a retired school teacher now, but she was a school teacher. She got involved. It was just a good feeling because he progressed. Sometimes the planned events weren't so, well, they were good, but it was just a time of spending time together and just hanging out, or just helping him with his homework, or going to a movie.
So a mutually beneficial relationship, and of course, you can get involved as well. I see we're up over $11,000. Call us, visit us online, scan the QR code, and make your donation today. Here's a special performance.
there's a void, God can feel it. If you can have it, God can heal. If there's a void, God can feel it. If you can have it, God can heal. If there's a void in your life, God can feel it. Yeah. God can heal all manner of disease. Give you peace in your spirit. Put your mind at when the doctor walks away and he shakes his head, so it's only a matter of time before you'll be dead. Say God can heal. Just God can heal. Yes, He can. Yes, He can. There is a bomb in Gilead. God can heal. Has no sorrow that it cannot heal.
Are here.
We are here with our match of Big Brother Sean and little brother Bryant doing the newly matched game. All right, so for Sean, about Bryant, what is Bryant's favorite color? Red, excellent. They definitely are starting to get to know each other. All right, next question for Sean about Bryant. What is Bryant's favorite school subject?
Ready?
Science, excellent. All right, next question for Sean about Bryant. What is Bryant's favorite game?
Do I spell that? Sounding it out here, so.
Terranium?
Terrarium.
Terrarium, excellent. Okay, what is Bryant's favorite animal? A dog, excellent. All right, we're gonna move on to our next set of questions. So these are Brian, for you about Sean. So kind of get to know him. All right, so for Brian, what is Sean's favorite food? Sushi, excellent. All right. What is Sean's favorite game?
I don't know if I have one. Oh, I do. I know what it is. We briefly had a taste of it. Remember what I ran for you? Dungeons and
Dungeons
Dragons.
and Dragons. Okay, and for last question, what is Sean's favorite color?
Clouds. If you get the specific name, I'll give you props. Go with a simple one. Oh, you got the right one. I'm impressed.
All right, excellent. I think you guys know each other pretty good right now for being a new match. Well, thank you so much, Sean and Brian. We really appreciate you doing the newly matched game for us. Thank you.
I'm impressed. I didn't think you'd remember Galactica.
Thank you very much. The 37th annual Monroe Telethon for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeastern Pennsylvania continues. And don't forget, you can always check out our progress on the right corner of your screen, where now it looks like we're sitting up over $16,000. You could donate by scanning the QR code, beabigmonroe.com, 570-228-2303. Get involved, and Joe and Nathan, you both have gotten involved, and we're glad to have you here. This is a big, as we call, a mentor or a mentee, Nathan, who gets the help of a mentor, and there is a great picture of the guys hanging out there. Looks like you're having some pizza, pepperoni, good choice. So Joe, Nathan, thank you for being here. And Joe, it looks like, the picture says it all there. It looks like you guys have a great time. Explain why you got involved, why you decided to mentor, and how this relationship with Nathan got started.
Well, I wanted to give back and do something. I had kids of my own, and they're all grown and gone away, and I just wanted to reach out and see if I can give a little bit back with my own experiences in life. And I saw Big Brothers and Sisters advertised, and I contacted them immediately and just called up and got in the program, and pretty much right away they got me set up with somebody, which was pretty interesting. I thought it would take a little bit longer, and that's where I met Nate, or what I call him, Buck, his nickname, and we just instantly connected right from the very beginning. It was great, and the experience is so far interesting and fantastic. I mean, it really is a lot involved with it, and it works for me, and I hope for him.
Well, let's get his opinion as well. Nathan, talk about when you found out that you're going to be matched, and then when you met Joe for the first time.
Well, I have to agree. I was a little nervous at first, but once we started hanging out on the first time, it went amazingly, actually. We had a lot in common. We talked about what our careers are, what we like to do on our free time. That's pretty much it.
And as far as the time you spend together, we saw the pizza eating, which I'd be all down for, so I'm with you there. But what are some of the other experiences that you've had? And then, add a little more, Nathan, in terms of how that experience you feel has helped you.
Well, the experience of when I first met him is made me so much happier than when I originally was, because when we first moved to Pennsylvania, we originally lived in Jersey. The whole thing was we moved away from all of our friends, family, and it's been about a year. Joe over here has helped a lot. I mean, brought my mood up, got me outside more. We like to go fishing, hiking. We actually recently went axe throwing. It was amazing. Yeah, we like to go play games together, maybe a little air hockey here and there. We just try to get out as much as we can, find as much free time, and hang out.
And I know what's fascinating too is, you mentioned a couple things. I know the axe throwing isn't exactly cheap, let's say, but Joe, when you talk about these things like hiking and fishing and going outdoors, enjoying nature, I mean, these are activities that don't really cost a ton of money, but at the same time, I mean, you heard Nathan and the impact it's had on him. It's incredible.
Yeah, well, he's almost bringing me to tears, Dave. No, it's great. I mean, I'm glad that he's feeling that way because I'm very comfortable with him, and and we got matched up right in the middle of winter, so there was a lot of things I didn't know exactly what to look for or what to do with him. So we started out simple and said, let's go out for pizza, which we did, and we instantly connected there, played arcade games and the axe throwing and stuff like that, like he said, and it definitely made a difference in what we do. So now we just pretty much are we wing it and touch base, try to do every other day, or at least every day give a call or a text and see what we're going to do every weekend, if not even during the week sometimes.
And you know, you heard Nathan also say about how much of a difference it made, like added confidence, made him feel happier. To see that occur in the life of someone that, you know, may not have had that enrichment, that's got to make you feel good. And what would you say to anybody out there that's considering potentially donating their time as a big, or maybe wanting to mentor? Explain what that means to you to see that happen for a child.
It means a lot. It really does. I mean, I feel good at every time I speak with them or we go out, and the experience that when we're hanging out is always interesting. Tell you the truth, it makes me feel alive again with the things we do, because I'm older and he's a lot younger, but I get to see through the younger age what they're going through now and what I went through when I was growing up. We compare things, and it's just it's a great experience. I would definitely anybody out there, man or woman, get involved, because it makes a difference in how you feel yourself. And when you look back and see, like he said, the changes that I'm helping him out with in his life is just overwhelming in feeling. So.
And Nathan, from your end of things, why should someone out there, you know, maybe think about donating $25 or $50 or whatever they can afford today to support a program like this? Explain why they should support, and a little bit more about how it's helped you.
Well, the reason I believe that they should support Big Brother and Big Sister is because people like Joe over here, who come over not even knowing the person, and not even knowing their life story, not knowing what's happening, but they can just make a change. Joe made a change for me. I mean, look at me, I'm happier now, I'm in a better place. I mean, I'm here, so. But yeah, I really believe that people should start becoming Big Brother and Big Sister.
And it's so easy to get involved. You know, you mentioned the process, Joe, that it was quicker than you thought. And, you know, it's easy to find out more information. You can go to our website, beabigmonroe.com or bbbs.nepa.org to find out more. You can also, while you're there, make a donation. You could scan the QR code. The phone number is 570-228-2303. And, you know, it's as simple maybe as, you know, skipping a coffee out once in a while, things like that, where maybe you don't get that pizza, not when you guys are spending time together, but you know what I mean? If you're out there and maybe you eat in with your family one time, and all of a sudden that gives you that $20 you're looking for to make the donation. And by everybody contributing today, we are shooting for nearly $50,000, so a little more than 3 hours to go, a long way to go, so we hope we can have your support. We've got to talk about some very important kids that are on the waiting list. They're waiting to get involved, waiting to be kind of matched up here as part of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeastern Pennsylvania. Let's talk about Noah. He is 9 years old. His interests include playing football, going outside, sitting around to talk, and playing video games. And he wants a big because he wants someone to keep him company. He would want to run around, play sports, and video games with his big. So keep in mind when you're considering donating your time, there are children like Noah. We have some others as well that are looking for a match, looking for a big to spend. All you have to do to get involved is give us a call at 570-228-2303. How about Jaden? He's 15. He enjoys playing baseball, going for walks, going to Wawa. He also loves pets such as dogs, and he wants a big because he will have someone to relate to him. He's excited to meet a big and do things with them. And, you know, I think one other group to keep in mind, maybe if you're a mom or dad and your kids are growing up and out of the house, you know, we've heard that a number of times really work for folks out there. So think about that. If you're missing having a child in your life, this is such a great opportunity to get involved. Brunel is 11. He enjoys playing with Legos, dinosaurs, and Xbox. He also likes to go outside and explore the woods as he is a Boy Scout. He enjoys climbing trees, playing basketball and soccer, and he wants a big because he only has sisters. And with his dad working all the time, he does not get to do much guy things. So Brunel wants another man in his life, and hopefully you can be that person to donate some time. So many people coming together for this spectacular event today. ESSA Bank and Trust, AmeriHealth Carnitas Northeast, Pocono Mountain, the Lions Club we have going on as well, and you know, the Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau and others who have helped. Again, beabigmonroe.com, 2303 for additional information or to donate. And you could also find out more when you're on the website about Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeastern Pennsylvania. Brown Daub involved. We have Halterman's, I can see, and I'm seeing the tote board now with $17,317. So you know what that means? We have a way to go. We want to get to $50,000 as our goal coming up by 8 o'clock tonight. So a little over 3 hours, and you need to act soon if you'd like to help us out. You could scan that QR code right on the bottom of your screen, go to beabigmonroe.com, or give us a call at 570-228-2303. You've heard the great stories. You've heard the inspiration. We just had Joe and Nathan on, and how it's really been a big benefit to both of them. So please support us today. Stay tuned for a very special performance.
Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm a girl who has everything? Look at this trove, treasures untold. How many wonders can one cavern hold? Looking around here you think, sure, she's got everything. I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. I've got who's it's and what's it's galore. You want thingamabobs? I've got 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. I wanna be where the people are. I wanna see them dancing, walking around on those, what do you call them again? Oh, feet. Flipping your fins, you don't get too far. Legs are required for jumping, dancing, strolling along down a, what's that word again? Street. Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free. Wish I could be part of that.
Oh, my man, I love him so. He'll never know. All my life is just despair, but I don't care. When he takes me in his arms, the world is bright. All right. I'll go away when I know I'll come back on my knees someday. For whatever my man is, I am his forever.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much for that piece. And we want to give a shout out to our organization, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeastern Pennsylvania, for winning a quality award. So you know when you're donating your money to the organization, it's going to a wonderful cause, and it's really exciting to be a part of that organization.
Are you going to be on with me?
Do such great things and make the best use of your money that we hope you're going to donate here today. Of course, the annual telethon here in Monroe County continues. There is that quality award 2021 from Big Brothers Big Sisters of America, basically saying that the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeastern Pennsylvania has done a wonderful job in terms of the administration of services, mentoring relationships that support littles and bigs here in our community. Up next with us, we have State Senator Rosemary Brown. Rosemary, thanks for joining us on the telethon.
It's a pleasure. Nice
So
to be here.
you bet. This is an exciting time, an exciting evening as we're getting ready to hopefully raise $50,000. We're getting closer, just over $18,500 now. You've probably seen the impact Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeastern Pennsylvania has had firsthand on the community. Talk about some of the results you've seen.
Yeah, I think over the years I've been always involved in coming to the Big Brothers and Big Sisters Telethon, have seen the needs especially across the community. And we talk about it a lot because, you know, we can legislate certain things in the law, but when you look at some other things that need to happen in families and structures, you know, with the kids, their educational piece, relationships are important and they mean a lot. So I think what I've seen over the years, especially when I've come to the telethon and run into bigs and littles and seen their connections, just outside we were talking to Nathaniel, I think, and you know, it's interesting on how they meet, how they develop their relationship, and how it's just so wonderful. It's just everything that's positive. There's not a negative side to it. And we were taking a selfie outside too, so we were sort of laughing because we were talking about generations too. That, you know, with the littles and the big, you know, it's a good thing because you're mixing generations, you're sharing ideas, and you're teaching each other different things too. So I just think it's really beneficial on the relationship building and learning how to communicate in any community, not just ours.
And explain a little more. I mean, throughout your career, your political career, you've been an avid supporter of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeastern Pennsylvania. Why is it an organization that means so much to you personally?
Well, I do think, you know, as I mentioned, that so much is based not in the law and in legislating the world. So much is based on people and family and relationships. And we can do better and better with that. It's nice for people of all ages to have more than one person to be able to speak with, to spend time with, to help cope with the good and the bads of life. And that's just the reality. And I think when you look at Big Brothers and Big Sisters, that's what it's trying to do. It's trying to make sure that there is relationships and there are opportunities for people, both the big and the little, to have sharing and an outlet that helps you in life to be happy. And isn't it all about being happy as much as you can? Yeah. So I think that's why, as an organization, if you really get down to the weeds of it, that's really what it's doing. And it's very simple, It's very basic, and it's very real. It's what's needed.
Now, explain in your life. Let's relate, your personal situation to what many kids have to go through or going through. And you're relatively new to being a state senator. So, do you have someone that has mentored you that when you started doing this, you said, you know what, I want to model after this person, or did someone reach out to you to kind of help you, and did that make a difference for you?
Yeah, well, I think I've had so many mentors, so I would say I've taken pieces of different people that I think, boy, I love how they do that. I love how they do this, and learning from different people throughout the process. So I was a state rep for 12 years, and so along that process, it was really so many different people and colleagues. But I have to say, for me, it still goes down a lot to family and friendships, and having that ability to talk with people. And my parents, my family is extremely strong, and that's been a very big asset for me personally, to be able to then go ahead and jump into a position of public service and jump in to help and have that confidence to do that and have that resources around me to help do it. So I think the mentorships, I think, are vast. So I can't pinpoint one person, except my mother and father, of course. I will always say my mother and father, but I think there's just a lot of people, and I think that's another piece of the big brothers and big sisters. These are mentors. These are people that can bring something to each other that is important.
And I think that's such a great point, because I think all of us look and see that, when you look at your life, that maybe it is one thing that each person gave you that you've encountered or helped or throughout the year. And we're asking, the community, Rosemary, to help us out here today in terms of making a donation. There are the matches that are supported. There is awareness that's done. There are, activities that are held for the kids. So we need a lot of community support. We need a lot of people out there to say, you know what, I want to make a donation today. For those that are sitting out there thinking, I don't know if I want to donate. I don't know if I want to support this organization. What have you seen in your life, both personally, professionally? The reason why that maybe you can share with those watching as why they should donate and support this cause.
Well, I would absolutely say, if you want to feel confident about your donation and where it goes and what type of organization that Big Brothers and Big Sisters is, a valid, legit organization, first of all and foremost, But also, I hear so much of people frustrated with our world and frustrated with different things. And if you want to make a difference, and help try to get ahead of any sort of unhappiness, mental health issues, things that can be avoided by love and relationships and building each other up, this is where you start. And you have to look and say, where does it stem, and then where do we end up? And I think if you look at Big Brothers and Big Sisters, you're the root of trying to build our community, to build each person, and try to help for happiness and good health, and then we avoid things in the future that we don't want to see happen in our world.
It's almost like preventative care for the community, right? Like doing your exercise, working together. And speaking of working together, how about East Stroudsburg Area School District, Weiler? Rosemary Brown, you as well, supporting the events here this afternoon. We have Kirk and Suma and Company, certified public accountants, Lehigh Valley Hospital, Pocono, all supporting this avenue this afternoon, the annual telethon here, the 37th annual telethon here in Monroe County for Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Northeastern Pennsylvania. And as we mentioned, if you want to get involved, there's so many easy ways. The scan code, it's literally right there.
So easy.
Yeah, just stick your phone up to that.
Take a picture.
Take a picture. You could donate in a little bit if you'd like, but why not do it now so you could get it taken care of and help support this great organization and cause. beabigmonroe.com, or if you're old-fashioned and you want to talk to someone on the phone, we've got people standing by as well, and sometimes that's the best way to do it. 570-228-2303. So we're going to continue here over the next couple of hours, nearly $20,000, so make your donation today. Let's head now to this special piece. That was a wonderful performance. The 37th annual Monroe Telethon for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeastern Pennsylvania continues. Our total now just shy of $20,000. A little more than 3.5 hours left, 2.5 hours left in the telethon.
And don't forget, $50,000
Yeah.
is the goal for today. So long time, I mean, a lot of time yet.
Keep the donations
Keep the
coming. We
donations
want to see
coming.
that tote board going up. And we have another great segment to share with you. Joining us now, Mary Frances Postapak, Vice President, Economic Development and Entrepreneurship here at East Stroudsburg University. Mary Frances, thanks for being here.
Dave, it's great to be here. This is a great event.
Absolutely, yeah. My first time I've been out here for it. 4 years on the board at Big Brothers Big
Okay.
Sisters, so I'm excited. I think it's a great way to bring the community together to talk
Yes,
about the wonderful
yes.
things that are going on. And
Mhm.
I know at East Stroudsburg University, there's always great things going on in partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters. Talk a little bit about your work together with the organization over the years.
Well, you know, I'm hoping you turned in at 4 o'clock when it started, because President Long did the introduction, and he said it's a privilege for East Stroudsburg University to have this affiliation with Big Brothers Big Sisters. It has been a relationship that has spanned 30 years in the studio. So going back to the United Way campaigns, when the honorary chairs would also be the honorary chairs of Big Brothers Big Sisters. And you know, clearly you're representing an institution of higher education where we put students first and value student success. Our faculty, staff, and administration are very much aware that that student success doesn't automatically happen when the students step on the campus at East Stroudsburg University. So having this organization engage the community in the way you do, to be able to provide the K through 12 student population with services, mentorships, networking, that really builds a foundation for success as they move forward. So we're very excited to look at the services that we can bring, not only from the infrastructure and technology and production from our students, but what we can do to identify more bigs to be mentors for the littles.
And I'll tell you, my first time on campus, and I'm impressed with what I've seen, and the crew here helping us out with the annual telethon. They're doing a fantastic job. They have to deal with me out here on the couch.
Well, Chad and Alexis, we need to give you, you know.
They're doing great work.
Yes, it's great.
Now, as far as that support from East Stroudsburg University for Big Brothers Big Sisters, I know one of the things that you do is help matches with summer camps.
Yes.
Talk a little bit more about
Well,
that.
you know, I was talking to Doreen Tobin, who was our Vice President for Student Affairs, and now very involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters. And this evolution of coming out of COVID and getting the littles engaged. Our summer program, as many of you know, we have several warrior sports camps, and we have our ESU for Kids, which now is coming out of a virtual mode to an in-person mode. So we're looking at opportunities to provide the littles, and I was told there are about 20 or 22 littles in Monroe County, to be able to participate in summer camps. So Coach Terwilliger, our football coach, and his team extended the invitation, and we're looking at the ESU for Kids program, and as we have more details, we'll provide that and share it to the littles and get them more engaged.
You know, and I know from being on the board here at Big Brothers Big Sisters, we talked about your football team, your coach, and the great day that was had, I think this past season, this past fall, where we had kind of an awareness day. It was great to be out and, you know, have the littles and bigs hear about the great ways that we work together with you. And, you know, talk a little bit about, you know, that importance of mentorship and how that will help the youngsters in our community.
Well, you know, it's not even, Dave, just for youngsters. We just launched at East Stroudsburg University a platform called People Grove, which is a platform that's designed to facilitate mentorships. So we've been working with our Alumni Association and with our students to pair our alums with our students. And that same mentality is what we're looking to do to pair our students, faculty, and staff as bigs. The biggest challenge, Dave, and I'm not sure if you're seeing this, is the engagement. You know, we do very much, excuse me, like concierge connections, looking at students with like-minded interests and connect them with alums. But it's been challenging just coming out of COVID and getting people engaged. I'm not sure if you're seeing that as well.
We have. You know, no doubt there was sort of an interruption in the way things worked, and now I think you're starting to see people come out more often and look for those opportunities again. And, you know, you mentioned earlier that it not being just about the young. We had a match, a big and a little on earlier, and, you know, the big hit said, as an adult, a grown man, how much the relationship meant to him.
Yeah.
So it's not just the one way with the children being helped,
Right.
but it's the adult. It's a rewarding experience. So why should someone take
Well,
the time to be a mentor?
I think we should take advantage of what you just said.
Yeah.
So let's reach out to our audience. We know that we have more littles than bigs. So let's put out a challenge. Let's ask within the next 30 minutes if we could have 2 people to call. Well, can they call in or scan?
They
do
can
it
call. Yeah, they can go to the website.
Okay,
and get more
and go to the
information.
website.
Yep.
So instead of giving your money, we're going to ask you to give even more, to give your time and to commit yourself to be a big.
And at the end of the day, while the money is much appreciated,
Right.
the value of your time
Right.
is so important.
Yes,
And just the fact that that will make a difference in the lives of children in need here in our community. So yeah, if we can get 2 people in the next half hour by, let's say, 5:45 that somehow reach out for more information,
Exactly.
website, phone.
That would be amazing.
Absolutely.
Every year that I've participated, and it's such an honor to be here, every year there's always littles that need bigs, and we don't have enough bigs to make the match. And every year there's more littles. So what can we do to get more people involved in the program? Because I was listening to Philip St. James from Santa Fe talking about he was a big 4 times. And that one of his littles literally named 2 of his children after him,
That's
Brian and
amazing.
Philip. And when you hear these endearing stories, you never know the type of impact you can make on someone's life by spending some time with them. To know that they're there. You know, time is such a precious gift, and sometimes I think we take it for granted.
And let's take a moment to talk about East Stroudsburg University.
Yeah.
You know, you're involved in business and entrepreneurship.
Yes.
What are some of the things you're seeing and opportunities for kids and young adults?
Well, let me tell you, Dave. So we have found, every year we host the FBLA Region 21 Leadership Conference on our campus. And these are students from DECA and FBLA that have incredible business ideas. What we're finding, even with our students and with the high school students, is they're not so much looking to work for someone else. You know, maybe it's the Shark Tank mentality. They're looking to be entrepreneurs. They're looking to create their own businesses, to be their own bosses. There's nothing more encouraging than watching our students, you know, cross the stage at graduation and they're the CEO of their company. So this idea of providing them with a comprehensive educational foundation for them, no matter what major they choose, to be able to take that and incorporate an entrepreneurial mindset to take it to limits beyond what they ever expected.
Yeah, and that's a thing that's amazing to see as well.
Well, and it's everything from the lemonade stands that you see to what students are doing. You could add Girl Scout cookies, you know? So I think it's just an exciting opportunity to look at higher education, look at the programs and the services that we have, and really what the industry market is looking for from students. And that starts with kindergarten through 12. It's just not magical if you're going on to post-secondary education.
Absolutely. I know before we had mentioned the opportunity to call or reach out if
Yes.
you'd like to donate some of your time.
Please
but of course,
call.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, call. You can go onto the website,
Right.
beabigmonroe.com. And of course, submit the form there to get more information on how to volunteer. But if you'd like to call us and donate some money, we'll take that as well.
Right.
Of course, 570-228-2303. There's a QR code on the bottom of your screen, so easy to get involved. Mary Frances Postapak from East Stroudsburg University.
Yes.
We appreciate you being here.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.
You bet.
Call in, be a mentor.
All right, let's head to our next piece.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the East Stroudsburg Area School District and East Stroudsburg Area High School North, we are pleased to present the 2022 Timberwolves Marching Band. This year's show features hit music from the rock band Green Day, known for tunes like American Idiot, Extraordinary Girl, Good Riddance, The Time of Your Life, and Holiday. This year's seniors are Jennifer Alicia, Christopher Catalano, Owen Cooper, Peterson de Oliveira, Isabella Diaz, Erica Ferreira, Drum Major Alyssa Ferran, Corey Gennefe, Jesus Perez, Samara Reynoso, Santos Rosas, and Aliana Galilla. The band is under the direction of Mr. Paul Baker. Assistant band director is Matthew Flicker. Marching and maneuvering is taught by Rick Sanker. Color guard instruction is provided by Becca Sanker. Drill is written by Adam Burdett. The North Band program would like to thank our band parents and supporters for the role they play in our program. We enjoy our current level of success in large part because of the efforts of our school board, building and district administrations, band parent organization, and the North High School faculty, staff, and community. And now, please welcome to the field, the pride of the Poconos, the Timberwolves.
What a fantastic performance. And don't forget to keep the donations coming. We've cracked the $20,000 mark, which is awesome news.
It's
right?
great.
Over $21,000 and 2.5 hours to go. So the number, 570-228-2303. You can go to beabigmonroe.com or, of course, donate by scanning the QR code. CEO Michelle Hamilton is back with us from Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeastern PA, and Michael Takuva, United Way Executive Director. Good to see you both.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having me.
Michelle, what do you think so far?
Coming
It's going well, I think.
I think it's going really well. We just had a donation. We had a $100 donation in the last 15 minutes, so keep it coming. We appreciate that. All the funds that is raised stays in Monroe, and we appreciate that. And I really loved, Mary Francis had talked about giving the gift of time. I think that's just as important. So we have littles on the wait list. If you've been watching, you've seen them being aired. Thanks for sharing the information, and I'm sure you've seen, there's so many littles, so they have such great aspirations, and they want somebody to help guide them, support them, and part of what, why we're so important is the impact that we can have on mental health.
That's right.
And, so think about that. Give your gift of time if you can.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's donations, it's financial donations, it's time, it's volunteering. And, when you talk about mentorship and how this all works together, Michael, talk a little bit about how mentoring can improve young people's mental health. We just went through the pandemic. It was a challenging time, to think as adults how it affected us. I don't know if we could fully appreciate what a child went through the past few years. So explain how all this comes together.
Well, I think a big piece is the opposite. It's the adverse childhood experiences. Those are the negative things that happen in a child's lives. And having one caring adult in someone's life will erase a lot of those challenges. And I think that's something that we think about is, when I think about my childhood, it's the people that spoke truth into my life and cared about me, and even if it was just an encouraging word. And that can mean so much to a child during those trying times, through adolescence, through experience, and just asking someone else, can you give me, a note of encouragement? Can you be somebody that walks alongside me? And think about for your own lives. Who are the people in your lives that were there for you when you had a tough time? That means a lot.
Yeah.
It does, yeah, and that little support, and sometimes you just don't know what someone is going through. So to be able to kind of be that person that maybe has that little bit of encouragement could go a long way in having a major impact. And talk a little bit more about, your work at the United Way with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeastern Pennsylvania and some of the things you've done with us.
We're big fans. The fact that they are intentional about creating those relationships. United Way loves to see community building, and that's what it is. When a big meets with a little, it is building community. It's leaning into someone's life, and you can't ask for anything more. So we're fans, and we hope that our viewers today are not just becoming bigs for the littles in this organization, but that if they can't, give a little bit. Give $100, give $250. Only $500 a year is only like $1.37 a day. So think about how you can be generous and support this cause.
Michelle, what about from your angle as the CEO? I mean, how does it help you and the organization to partner with organizations like the United Way?
Well, it's huge. We are a nonprofit, so a bulk of our funding comes from grants and from individual donations and sponsorships. But partnering with organizations like United Way help elevate our program, really kind of give an ongoing support for the operations of our program. We have 8 full and part-time staff that do the work. And they do things called match support, which I think is really a cornerstone of the program, which those bigs that are out there, they get that support once a month. Right after they get matched, they get a phone call from us, and they get to see what's happening, and they can help out, if there's any challenges or anything like that. So I think that's a cornerstone of the program.
And Michael, talk a little bit more about mental health services and support and how you see that kind of impact people and how that can certainly make a difference to have that kind of support.
Well, if we think about the last couple of years, life has been hard. If you were to follow me around for a day, I could teach you about a hard life. But if I followed you around the next day, I would learn about a hard life because we are all experiencing difficulties. multiple stressors in life, whether it's school, work-related, family dynamics, and the importance of having somebody else that comes alongside you just to care and ask those questions like, how are you, can be so meaningful and impactful to that person's life. So I think that's where we lean in. That's where we're asking our viewers and those that maybe be able to donate to lean into that experience of caring for those that are in our community.
And sometimes, I mean, we're asking for a donation. We know it's a challenging time now. Costs for everything are up. And, we talked earlier about the importance of the time donation. But, I kind of like what you mentioned there, Michael, that sometimes it's simply a single word. Maybe it's something as small and as minimal as just kind of changing the way you approach people, that you can have an impact on those around you.
I was just speaking with somebody out in the hallway, and they said, we were talking about TikTok and the number of viewers, and they said that they don't have 1 million or 1 billion viewers, but they use the word yet. And I was so encouraged by that, because they're dreaming, they're thinking about the future, and they're thinking about what their hopes and aspirations can be, and it's just not yet.
Yeah.
It's not, I coach soccer, and the kids say, well, I'm not good at this yet, because that's the purpose of practice. It's to enrich and to enhance their skills, and sometimes it is just somebody coming along and saying, you know what, you can do it. I believe in you. That can mean the world to somebody else.
And we see that happen here at Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeastern Pennsylvania. Michelle, this is maybe a question that'll take you a little while, but obviously we don't have forever to think about. It just popped in my head. You've been involved in these type of things for a lot of years. You've been executive director, CEO now the past few years here at this particular organization. Well, is there one maybe match that stands out to you that just you couldn't believe the outcome, that something was just so extraordinary, that little bit of mentorship and just something that was just an amazing result?
I do. I have a great story. We have a little that's an 8th grader who just got involved with our program and was leaning back and forth about going to school, and was really thinking about virtual. And with that one time with their mentor, just changed her whole life and outlook. She's going to school. And that is huge. That is one time, about 2 hours that they spent. So,
if I could share, I have a mentor relationship story like that, where I started mentoring a boy when he was 15 years of age, and he was throwing eggs at cars and getting picked up by the police. And I remember picking him up at the police station the one time and having this conversation about what his future was going to be. And he's now 24 years old. He's a successful executive down in Dallas, Texas. And it was just simply because I said, I think you can be more than this. And his world went from going left to going right.
Well, a little bit of effort goes a long way, and that includes donating here today. Whatever you can afford, give us a call, beabigmonroe.com. You could also scan the QR code. Michael Tekiva, United Way Executive Director, thank you for being here. Michelle Hamilton, thank you. We've got a couple more hours to go. Here's another special performance.
Still lived in the world. I desire to know you better, God, to change what's not like you. I prayed that old would pass away and I'd become brand new. It took me a while, but I've arrived. I'm finally complete in Jesus Christ. I don't know why it took so long to find my place in you. I'm so ready to receive you, Lord, in a whole new way. I played religion for far too long. It's time that I turn. Behold, I am brand new. It took me a while, but I've arrived. I'm finally complete in Jesus Christ. I gotta say thank you, Lord. I thank you, Lord. I do for making me brand new. Brand new.
ESSA Bank and Trust loves giving back and financially supporting the communities, organizations, and people we have the privilege to serve. ESSA offers a full suite of business and personal banking solutions with 21 locations in the Pocono region, Lehigh Valley, and Greater Philadelphia area. Visit ESSAbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
The 37th annual Monroe Telethon for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeastern Pennsylvania continues. We can see that total, and we're approaching the halfway point, both at that total, just over $23,500, and our time. We have 20 minutes left till the top of the hour and 2 more hours to go, so we're on pace, but don't forget to make your donation as soon as you can, because you don't want to forget or miss out on supporting great one-on-one mentoring relationships here through Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeastern Pennsylvania. We have one to tell you about. We have Jillian with us. We have Destiny. Ladies, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So, Jillian, we'll start with you. Talk about this relationship. Why did you get involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and talk about getting set up with Destiny.
Okay, so I got involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters because I remember when I was growing up, I had older siblings who were like super into whatever, like MySpace, like whatever they were into back then. And I felt like lonely and stuff growing up, so I wanted to be able to be there for someone, and so that's what made me get into Big Brothers and Big Sisters. Then I met Destiny, and honestly, perfect fit.
And I will say, you know, Destiny, she told me she's only 12 years old, and she doesn't look nervous at all.
I know, right?
Maybe she is, but she's not showing it. Destiny, so tell us what you thought and what happened when you were introduced to Jillian.
I was excited. I was really excited, and when I first saw her, I was just like, "This is the one. This is definitely the one."
She's the one. And when you guys got together, you started spending some time together. Tell us some of the things you did together and how that made you feel.
We went to Knoebels. That was really fun.
It's really fun. We both love roller coasters, so yeah, went on as many as we could.
Question for both of you, then. I have to interrupt you. Phoenix or Twister?
Ooh, Phoenix?
I like Twister.
You like Twister? All right.
I guess you got to ride them both then, right?
Yeah.
Again, this summer maybe to figure it out. So roller coasters, amusement parks, and you know, Destiny, what was the impact that this had on you? How did you feel once you did these things with Jillian?
I felt like even more closer with her because I feel like this is the person I can do everything with. Like I just have to ask her, then it happens.
And there you go. And I know we have some photos of a picnic, I believe, where you were together and you spent some time and you got to do some things. And it's kind of a great way just to be out there. And there you are. It looks like you're outside. A little volleyball there, am I seeing on the right?
Oh yeah. Is that cricket? I think it was cricket.
Is that cricket? Yeah, a little cricket.
Badminton, maybe?
Badminton?
I think it's called badminton, yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what it was.
Little badminton, and then what are we doing there on the other side, on the left side of the photo? A little lunch packing there? Getting your lunch out?
Jenga.
No, Jenga.
Oh my goodness.
We don't eat that.
Maybe I need a mentor. I don't. I'm a little out of touch, I guess. Maybe I need someone to support me a little bit, but that's nonetheless a good time, a fun time,
yeah,
right?
we always have so much fun together. Even just car rides.
Yeah.
On the way here, we're singing.
And what I like about the picnic thing, the Jenga, the badminton, is that these are things, Jillian, that, you know, we're not talking about spending a fortune here for these activities. So this is stuff that, you know, is really essentially free.
I mean, it's mainly just about the quality time we get to share together and building our bond. I mean, she's family, and like even her mom is family. I got like such an extended family out of this experience, and It's really just like so valuable. I would have never thought it would be like this.
Now, Jillian, there are people out there watching that you no doubt are having an impact on. So for someone out there watching that maybe doesn't want to donate, or maybe they can't donate funds, but maybe they have the time. And we've been talking about that throughout the afternoon, that sometimes it's simply a donation, that gift of your time, that could make a major difference. So why should someone out there maybe on the fence consider becoming a mentor or a big?
Yeah, I think everyone should become a big, because you're really, one, getting to impact your community directly, but also you're building a bond with someone and like watching someone grow and like become like a little adult, and it's like quite beautiful. And I feel so lucky to even be a part of it and to be able to get to know Destiny and everyone here at Big Brothers Big Sisters. So yeah, totally do it, for
and
sure.
then Destiny, how about from your standpoint, why should someone out there consider, maybe there's another young lady out there waiting for a mentor like you have with Jillian. Why should someone out there give their time to someone like you?
Because just say you're just bored in the house, you have nobody to hang out with, you have a big sister to reach out to, you can do like everything together, just everything. Anything you just comes to mind, you can do anything. And
yeah, we definitely have like a support system like between us too. Like Destiny's someone I can totally confide in, so I love it.
and that's another good point, Jillian, as we talked about the two-way street. We had a match on earlier as well, and they were talking about that, while it made a huge difference in the impact of the younger person, the little for the big, I mean, it's so rewarding.
It really is. Like, Destiny is so fearless, and like she's so bold. Like, even an interview like this is something totally out of my comfort zone, but like Destiny really like ignites that in me and makes me want to be a better person. And yeah, like I can't ask for anything more.
Well, I mean, first of all, neither of you seem out of your comfort zone. You're doing
Oh,
wonderful
thanks.
at it. In fact, I mean, you could finish up my set of the show if you'd like, You're doing a great job. You're nice and comfortable, and it's got to be great to see the community coming together. Because you were both random. You had no idea who each other were, and then you kind of mentioned, and you both could speak to this, that now you consider yourselves family.
For sure.
And what does something like that mean?
I mean, what does family mean? What a good question. Like, she's just someone who I feel like supports me as much as I try to support her. I get so much out of this. Like, so which is what like I never would have expected, but totally we have like a support system. I really trust Destiny. Like Destiny's gonna be in my life forever. Like I really gained a family from this and a sister, and yeah, I can't ask for anyone better. She loves it. She's soaking this up.
So when we say critical one-on-one mentoring relationships for children, let's say adults in the community as well, because it means both so much for both of you. And we're glad to see you're doing so well and excelling. And we hope that someone out there is motivated by Destiny and Jillian, and they listen to their story, and now they're going to donate some of their time, and maybe we'll make that next great match. But of course, we're here at the Telethon to also raise funds. So whether it's, because of Destiny and Jillian, because of their great story, whether it's that maybe you have someone in your life that could use some help. Maybe you're a parent out there, a single parent that has a child that can use a positive role model. Well, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeastern Pennsylvania is here for you as well. So it's very easy to donate. All you have to do is go to our website, beabigmonroe.com. And of course, there you can find out much more information on how to make your donation today. It could be $5, it could be $25, $50. If you could afford more, great. You can also give us a phone call at 570-228-2303, or we've made a very convenient QR code at the bottom of your picture. Destiny and Jillian, we appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's head to the special piece.
The Prowling Panthers of Pocono Mountain West High School support Big Brothers Big Sisters of NEPA because we know that having a mentor can make a difference to kids and their future successes.
That was a fantastic performance. Don't forget to get involved. You can donate by scanning the QR code, visiting our website, or of course giving us a call and help us make that goal. We're trying to get to $50,000 by the end of the night. We're also very thankful for our community sponsors, Weiler, East Stroudsburg Area High School, Kirk Suma and Company Certified Public Accountants, Rosemary Brown, the Lehigh Valley Hospital Pocono, all in support today of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeastern Pennsylvania. And we want to tell you about some more littles that are waiting for a mentor. So, you know, the theme of the night has been, while we would love your financial donation if you could afford it, what about Zach, who is 13, and he's waiting for a big who enjoys playing video games and riding his bike. He likes running around with his friends, going sledding, and playing games that his friends and him make up. And he wants a big to help him get better at drawing, mechanics, and cooking. Our next little that can use someone who can support them in their lives is going to be Nathan. Nathan says he is 14. He enjoys playing video games such as player versus player and roller skating, and he wants to be matched up so he can have someone to do cool stuff with. So if you'd like to volunteer, you could call the number on your screen. You can go to the website. And one more little to share with you in waiting for a match is Nayla. Nayla is 10. She enjoys playing the color pink, pizza, ice cream, and riding bikes with friends. She wants to be a big because she always wanted to be a big sister in real life. She thinks that hanging out and doing things will be the best part of having a big. Beabigmonroe.com. You can also call us at 570-228-2303. We're about halfway there in both time and donations. Nearly $25,000 on the tote board on the lower right corner of your screen. Again, take this opportunity to get involved, to make a donation, and we're going to continue now with Alice Wilson from Lehigh Valley Health Network. Alice, we appreciate you being here on the annual Monroe Telethon.
Happy to be here. Happy to support the Telethon.
Absolutely. Such a great cause. And talk a little bit about your involvement, your organization's involvement with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeastern PA.
Lehigh Valley Hospital Pocono, and previously Pocono Hospital, has been involved for years as helping to support monetarily and also provide board members. And we have a fair amount of employees who have been bigs over time. Thoroughly, they've enjoyed the experience, and we're just happy to be part of the community and supporting this great initiative.
And that's a thing that we'd like to see, is that donation, not only the financial donation, but the supporting of time and allowing your employees, which is fantastic. Was there anything that motivated you to get involved or motivated you to kind of tie yourself with our organization?
Well, I've been involved in my career with Big Brothers Big Sisters off and on in different locations. And when I worked in South Jersey, one of our managers had an awesome experience with his little. He would tell groups of people about it, and more people would get motivated to be a big and be part of the organization. So now I'm working up in this area, and our past president, her husband was very involved, Cal Wise, and he was involved with this organization, brought some of our managers in, and they also expressed what a great experience they had. So when I was tapped on the shoulder to be part of the board, it was an easy yes.
Yeah, and we appreciate that support and help as well. And talk a little bit more about how others can get involved. I mean, what are some things people can do if they want to help and support? Of course, we'd love that financial donation. We'd love that $25, $50, $100 donation. But, you know, maybe someone out there is watching and right now that's not going to work for them. They're just not able to support a donation. What about some other ways they can get involved?
Well, one way is also, it is a bit monetary, but the auction, you might have a gift certificate or something that you would like to contribute and receive something in return for your donation. There's a lot of great items on that auction, which I think ends up tonight. You can also get involved by volunteering to be a big or coming to one of our fundraisers. There's a bowl-a-thon coming up. You can raise some money, bowl with a group of friends, and have a great time.
Now, I did happen to see that auction. It is at beabigmonroe.com. You can find out more. There are at least 39 prizes. Now, one of the things that caught my eye was tickets, and there's a lot of great ones, but Kalahari Water Park. You can get tickets for your family to go and enjoy Kalahari Water Park. You just make your bid and have an opportunity to win those and other great prizes. So no doubt it's probably worthwhile for people to take a look through those prizes. And there could be something pretty incredible there.
Absolutely, and there's Wilkes-Barre-Scranton baseball tickets on there also.
Fantastic. So Rail Riders tickets available, and you know, just another way you can get involved. That, you know, maybe you say, hey, here's an opportunity for me to buy a gift for someone and kind of do two things at once. So that is definitely a way you can get involved. And
absolutely.
What kind of things do you see happen? Like, talk a little bit about what you've seen in terms of your volunteer work and your support work as far as outcomes and great relationships that have led to positive outcomes in the community.
Well, I think always when you're involved in mentoring an individual, you're giving them support to try new things, to have experiences they may not have the ability to see or have that access to. And those lead to different experiences. In high school, there's something you can put on your college application. There's something a group that you might join that you might not have ever been thinking about being involved in. Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, being in a musical or a play, and having support. Mentoring is all about giving that support. It's not monetary. A lot of it is talking, listening, and really just being involved with the person you're with. So I think it can be a great experience for anyone who's thinking about getting involved, of being a big with a little sister, a little brother.
Yeah, we saw with our last interview, we had a big and a little out here, and they were showing some pictures of some of the things they did, and they, you know, the badminton and the Jenga that they were playing. So these games that, you know, you may already have, things you could do for free, you go out to a picnic grounds, you know, you spend a little time outdoors, and a lot of it doesn't require in terms of a big financial donation. And, you know, let's speak to a little bit about that time donation. I mean, it's something you do, it's something that I know a lot of the employees at Lehigh Valley Health Network do, so that's such an important aspect as well.
Right, giving of your time, everybody's busy, but it takes an hour a week, maybe a couple hours a week. Maybe you take a walk in a park, maybe you go out to some of these free events. Monroe County and all the other counties that Big Brothers Big Sisters are present in have so many free activities. And it's just taking the time to jump into that. Some of the children that I see on the littles, they would like help with homework. They'd like exposure to some of the careers that are out there. I think there's a lot people can do and not spend a dime, but have a very rewarding experience.
And we saw some on the waiting list, and the kids said, basically, I just want someone to do cool things with. I just want someone to hang out with. And, you know, we saw the ladies earlier talk about how they become like family. They didn't even know each other several years ago, and here they are now talking about how they spent time with their family. And when they think about who is their family, it's them. It's the relationship that they built and grown and been able to support and kind of see flourish. And, you know, let's talk about your company, the Lehigh Valley Health Network. And, you know, it's got to be such a redeeming and rewarding thing that your company allows you the time to get out in the community. So talk about, you know, having that support from a company to be involved in the community.
Sure. We are a healthcare organization, and we foster not only physical health, but mental health, spiritual, emotional health when our people come and seek our care. It's important for us to be out in the community so that people know we're there, but also for us to use our skills and talents and contribute in whatever way is possible to the Monroe County, which is really where I work, but there are several other communities and several other healthcare organizations, peers of mine, colleagues that work in other hospitals and healthcare organizations that help support.
Alice Wilson, thank you for being here.
You're most welcome.
And don't forget, you can make your donation. Give us a call. Go to the website, scan the QR code. I'm Dave Kaharczyk. It's been a pleasure. Chuck Cease from 93.5 Radio takes over from here. Have a good night and stay tuned.
And it was interesting to see what the priorities of a 7-year-old are compared to mine. I took Samir to the Natural History Museum, and all Samir wanted to do was to get a Subway sub because he saw Subway on the way in. Made me realize that I should change my expectations for, you know, what we were gonna do from that on.
As the time went on, we just grew closer, never faded, and now he's like a role model to me. It's crazy. Now I don't hesitate to text him or call him like, hey, you wanna come to my game? You wanna do something? I've gotten a lot stronger since I've been with him. Before I started lifting, I was little, but now I'm an absolute beast. You get to talk to him about stuff like that you would never talk to anybody else about, like about your personal life. And it's like, he's somebody you could talk to, mentor you through everything.
As the mentor, you always kind of have anxiety, like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen him in this many months, or we haven't done anything, and I haven't done a great job. And then you hang out and you realize, like, for the past 8 years, we've been buds and, you know, friends and brothers. So like, it's nice to realize like all that quality time and relationship building is like still there, even if you might feel sometimes that you're not doing the best job as a mentor.
Tom to me has been like a brother from another mother. Even when we graduate from the system, we still gonna be hanging out, you feel me? I'm gonna come pick him up because I'm getting my permit next year. Even when we grow old, I'm 50, he's 70, 60, still gonna be hanging out together.
Schneider. I love the mission of Big Brothers and Big Sisters. I've been able to spend most of my life pouring into young people. What a difference it makes when we speak some life into them, love on them, invest in them. It can change the course of their life. This song is called My Breakup with Fear. It's one song I've been able to perform for countless young people to tell them, you know what? It's time we break up with those voices in our mind that tell us we're not good enough. Don't give in and keep on going.
Once I knew this girl who didn't know her worth, a life made up of compromise. Replaced her royal birth, the sound of her own destiny grew silent anymore. But then a voice of love from another world reached down to save her, save her. I'm not intimidated by what you say. Think it's time we go our separate ways. And although I know you'd love to stay, a world awaits me, so it's time I go. Hold on to every minute, every hour, every second, every day. Your life is amazing. And hold on. All the places you will go, you will get there if you try. Your life is amazing. It's amazing. Just give it some time. You're right where you should be. Pin the blame on yourself so easily. And you're rising up above all the insecurities. You're right there. Hold on. 'Cause there's a voice of love from another world to reach down and save you, save you. 'Cause I've been down to the bottom and I'm ready. No goodbyes, oh, it's not necessary. I found love, yeah. So hold on to every minute, every hour, every second, every day. Your life is amazing. And hold on, yeah. All the places you will go, you're gonna get there when you try. Your life is amazing. Yes, it is. It's amazing.
Welcome back to the 37th annual Big Brothers Big Sisters Telethon here on BRC TV 13. I'm Chuck Cease. Before we go any further, I just want to thank all the great talent that we've had here this afternoon to help us get through these 4 hours and raise money and also raise awareness about Big Brothers and Big Sisters. You just heard Robin, and Robin and I know each other from our time working here on campus at East Stroudsburg with the athletics program. Robin often sings the national anthem before the basketball games here at East Stroudsburg University. We've got more great talent on the way, but we've got some ladies to talk to right now. To the far end of the couch, we'll go to Dee Ranieri from Northampton Community College and her colleague Fran Bichelle, who's also from Northampton Community College. Dee, talk about what your position is on campus.
Well, I'm the Director of Community Partnerships is my job title, so I work out in the community, trying to forge relationships and just do what we need to do to be involved in the community, and that is with community groups, businesses, organizations, you name it.
Can you give me an example of a current community partnership that people might be familiar with?
Well, we certainly work with Big Brothers and Big Sisters.
There you go.
We have them at some of our events. We have many events that take place on campus that we like to have vendors so that students can come and learn more about programs and volunteer, and this is one of them.
Fran, you're involved with student life and also leadership development on campus. Talk a little bit about each of those.
Sure. So my role at the college is to oversee the clubs and organizations and leadership development at the Monroe campus, so here in Monroe County. So getting students connected with the stuff outside of the classroom, right? Because we know learning just doesn't happen within, the hallowed halls, right? It happens in the activities, the clubs, the friendships, all of those things that make the college experience really fun. And last summer I was asked to join the Big Brothers Big Sisters committee. As Dee said, we had them at some of our events trying to connect students with community engagement, not just with our campus clubs and organizations.
Being educators, you're both involved with mentoring. And I'm sure that you see on a first-hand basis and maybe on a daily basis how important mentoring can be for even students at Northampton Community College as well as younger people in life, Dee?
Well, you know, it's interesting because as new employees, we mentor our new employees. So when a new employee comes, they're mentored by someone. Actually, I was Fran's mentor when she started.
Is that right?
But in the same way, it's very easy to translate that into Big Brothers and Big Sisters because it's very important to teach the students to give back to the community. I mean, sometimes we have problems with teaching adults that, so we like to start early to teach students to give back to their community, and this is a great way to do it.
Absolutely.
Fran, you can talk about it from both sides then, having had Dee as a mentor, and now you're mentoring students. It obviously makes an impact in their lives.
Absolutely. I think it's really key to having someone to ask questions, especially navigating a new environment, whether that's the college environment, a workplace, or just kind of, you know, adolescence or childhood. It's great to have somebody that you can turn to and ask questions and get guidance from. And Dee was great with me, so it definitely helps with retention and again, giving back to the community.
Now, I know you live in the Lehigh Valley. Are you based out of the Monroe campus or are you in the Bethlehem campus?
I'm at our Monroe campus.
And you were at the Monroe
Yes,
campus
I am.
as well. Now let's talk about that a little bit because it's it's not brand new, but it is still relatively new in the landscape, and it certainly is a fabulous facility that gives students and also people in the community the chance to learn about what's going on at NCC.
It's a great campus. It's very environmentally, we're LEED Gold certified, so there's a lot of, you know, if you're an environmentalist, there's an awful lot going on indoors and out.
Wind and solar, you can see it right on the campus.
Wind and solar, we have solar panels, we have a wind turbine, we have all kinds of stuff. So people that have never been to the campus before are amazed when they come. They say, oh, this is so beautiful.
Fran, I wanted to ask you about the leadership development because I would imagine there's a lot of mentoring in developing leaders for the future.
Absolutely. So a lot of our clubs have leadership opportunities. I'm very involved with Phi Theta Kappa, which is our honor society for community college students. They're very active on campus, giving back to service, things like that. Leadership is key to getting them jobs, whether that's, you know, in the future, you know, because they transfer to a four-year school or they go out into the workforce. All of those leadership skills are going to make great employees in the future, and we want to be able to hone those skills, whether they're an adult student or a traditional, you know, 18-year-old going to college.
Dee, you talked about the having events on campus, partnering with organizations like Big Brothers and Big Sisters. Talk about, you know, the ways that the campus life can support an organization and how an organization like Big Brothers and Big Sisters can work hand in hand with NCC.
Well, we do have one of our very popular events on campus is Community Night. And
that's coming up in May, right?
That's coming up, that's every May.
Yeah.
And all of the community organizations are present, and it's a great way for people to learn about what's in the community, what you can volunteer with in the community. Students come, you know, everybody in the community is welcome to learn about what's available.
Yeah, that's a big night that's been going on now for...
It gets bigger every year.
I was going to say 6 or 7 years
now.
Yeah,
with a little COVID break, but yes.
That's true, but we'll be looking forward to that in the beginning of May. Can you talk a little bit about the work that NCC currently does with young people, whether it's summer camps or other opportunities for students to come on campus?
Sure, I'll let Dee talk about Horizons for Youth because that's her wheelhouse.
Yes, the Horizons for Youth program has actually been going on for over 30 years. It's a summer enrichment program where students from the ages of kindergarten through 9th grade come for enrichment activities in the summer, but they have a lot of fun. So they don't realize that they're learning, but they are. So it keeps them learning throughout the summer.
I can imagine that there are times when there are students on campus that really need that extra mentoring. How do you identify, or is there a way to identify students that might be in need of a situation like that might need a little extra help, whether it's a pat on the back or, you know, maybe just getting a little guidance about how to handle a situation on campus?
I think the nice thing about NCC, whether at the Bethlehem campus, but again, us at the Monroe campus, is that we're such a small community at Monroe. We're only 3 buildings, so if somebody looks lost, if somebody looks like, hey, I'm not really so sure, usually one of us, one of the staff or faculty will be able to sort of guide them in the right direction. One of the nice things about working at a community college, especially like NCC, is that we do have a child care center and we do have a food pantry. That we are always looking for donations, we're always looking for volunteers because our students unfortunately not just have a lot of, you know, academic need, but oftentimes have a lot of social needs as well that we're trying to help fulfill so they can be successful and graduate.
Why is volunteering important in building leadership, what do I want to say, qualities, I guess is the word I'm looking for?
Sure. I think teamwork, I think building those empathetic skills, I think being able to see, kind of walking in someone else's shoes, being able to interact with maybe different types of people you wouldn't normally interact with. All of those things make a great leader ultimately. So it helps with building that for our students and even for our younger students in Horizons for Youth.
I want to ask you a little bit more about that Horizons for Youth. Give me an example of what something that you're working on right now that deals with that.
Well, we're getting ready for summer, and we do bring in new programs every summer, and one program that really helps to teach leadership is a karate program, and we're having a karate program this summer, and that teaches self-discipline, it teaches leadership, it brings out confidence in students that might never have thought that they were confident about anything.
Another example of a community partnership, I would imagine, too.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How can we get more information about things like that you're dealing with at Northampton?
I would say visit our website at northampton.edu.
Okay.
Well, again, if you'd like to keep going, getting more information about what's happening at Northampton Community College, you can visit their website. We've got more to come here from the 37th Annual Big Brothers Telethon right after this. We mentioned all the great talent that we have here at the Big Brothers Big Sisters Telethon. Thanks to the McElligott School of Dance for providing us with that video clip to watch and enjoy. We are here at the 37th annual Big Brothers Big Sisters Telethon. I'm Chuck Cease from 93.5 SBG, and I'm
Pleased to be joined by Monroe County Commissioner Sharon Lavadeur. Sharon, you've been a teacher, an educator, a coach. I would imagine that mentor would go, you could fill in the blanks with any of those and put mentor instead, right? But throughout your life,
correct.
mentoring young people has been really part of your life.
It has been part of my life, and it was always a privilege to have that opportunity to work with young people. And I guess I probably need to tell a little story.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Sure.
As to why I'm so comfortable with the mentoring and I believe so much in it. I grew up in central Pennsylvania, a really cool little farm town. Lewisburg, Pennsylvania is a nice town. But my mom became ill when I was 12. And my dad was very busy taking care of Mom. And my two brothers were a lot older than I, and so they were off doing their thing, and appropriately. And I had a neighbor down the road, Ed and Doris Henry, and they're both gone now, but I think it's important to do a shout out for them because they were my mentors. And they helped me through so much, and I don't think they even realized exactly how much they did. And I think if people here in Monroe County had that opportunity, I know there's young people out there could really use that support. Ed actually, he had two daughters that were little, but they didn't like sports at all, and I loved softball. And Ed basically taught me how to ice skate and play softball. And it was wonderful, and it helped me be able to have some of those coaching skills that without his support, I probably wouldn't have had that interest like I did.
And it's illustrative of what we hear time and time again with people that are involved in mentoring, whether it's as a coach or whether it's as a friend of the family that's spending time with young people, finding an interest that they can share. And again, who knows what your life with or without sports. It would have been certainly a lot different, but you've been a softball coach, a field hockey coach.
Yes.
I mean, there have been basketball, there are many sports that you've been involved in, and you have to wonder, or you'd want to wonder what life would be like without that influence.
I do wonder. And then the other piece to that is I had two aunts that were both educators in the Milton School District, which is a little town over from Lewisburg. Mm-hmm. And I would go spend days with them when I was 12 and 11, 12, those ages. And once in a while, I was even able to go into my aunt's classroom, and she let me observe. So it was really neat to have that opportunity, and that's basically why I became an educator, was because of those two aunts that were really close to me growing up.
And two people that were involved early in your life.
Absolutely.
And really made all the difference. Well, that's what we're talking about here.
The same thing,
with Big Brothers and Big Sisters. So if you want to donate some time, that's really the biggest requirement for anybody that wants to get involved in Big Brothers and Big Sisters. First, you have to have the inclination to want to share what you have in your life with other people, the interests that you have in your life with other people. And then from there, it really is just a matter of you taking the step to get involved and to be a big and to get paired with a little. We're going to be talking to some bigs and some littles here within the next couple of segments that we have here on the telethon this evening. So I encourage you to stay tuned for that.
I think that's probably one of the major reasons why I got involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters early on, maybe 10 or 12 years ago, because I saw the importance of it and how significant that relationship can be.
Now, why has being involved in youth been so important to you? Because even after you left the East Stroudsburg School District as the former superintendent, you went to the Head Start program and worked with Pocono Services for Families and Children.
Yeah,
and now you're working here with Big Brothers and Big Sisters. So it's obviously something that's been a passion of yours. But do you think it's because of the mentoring that you had, or was there something else that wants you to continue to be an educator in your life?
I think it was because of the mentoring that I had. I think that really made, and that's a very good question. I don't know that I ever thought about it like that, but I do think it's because of the mentoring that I received when I was younger. My parents were very supportive of that, And I think that's where bigs need to understand that the families that of the children that they're mentoring really do appreciate the work that their child and that connection.
Well, we really appreciate you being here this evening.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for the great work that you're doing in our community. We've got more to come here from the Big Brothers Big Sisters Telethon. Stay with us as we're with you till 8 o'clock tonight. Find out more at beabigmonroe.com.
Thank you.
And another great performance, that one by the East Stroudsburg High School Brass Ensemble. Before that, we had a Katie Burton dance performance. We appreciate all their talent and their support of Big Brothers Big Sisters tonight. I'm Chuck Cease from 93.5 SBG. Michelle Hamilton is from Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and Nick Michelson is the Vice Chair of the Big Brothers Big Sisters Governing Board. Nick, let's start with you and tell us about your connection with Big Brothers and Big Sisters. How long has that been?
I've been on Big Brothers Big Sisters for over 15 years. I started when we were still with Catholic Social Services. I was on the advisory board, and then for about 5 years I was the chair for Bowl for Kids' Sake. So I've seen it all. I've also served on a bunch of the different committees. In fact, I was one of the people that we started Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Northeastern PA.
Why was it important to you to stay involved as it moved from Catholic Social Services to Big Brothers and Big Sisters? Why was it important to you for you to stay with the organization?
Seeing the impact that we have on these kids. These kids need, especially in today's world, they need a mentor. They need somebody that they can talk to. You know, kids have parents, but a lot of the kids want to be able to talk to an adult about different things. You know, what can I do with my life? Where do I want to be? Where do I want to go? What can I do? And they don't really like to talk to kids their own age in school, so it gives them an outlet, and that's how we help these children.
Yeah, it's interesting, Michelle, that obviously we want the mom and dad to be the main influence on kids, but you can recognize, and I think everybody can understand, that there may come a time or a situation where, well, maybe you want to, bounce something off of somebody other than a mom or a dad or an aunt or an uncle, or like you said, Nick, a person that they're in school with, to have somebody that has a little bit of a different perspective.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough. I've been in the Boy Scouts for 20 years, so I have a lot of interaction with a lot of youth. In my time, I have had 20 Eagle Scouts, and I look at that, and then I look at what we do with these children.
Very similar, right?
It's very similar. I mean, you're trying to help impact these children's lives, and you're trying to give them some advice and counsel and some purpose.
Nick seems like a guy that has a lot of passion for the work. It takes people like that, with the passion that Nick has expressed and Sharon has expressed, and all the guests that Dave was talking to earlier. You couldn't have an organization like Big Brothers and Big Sisters without volunteers like that.
No, we could not. And it's so great to hear from Sharon, from Nick, and any of the board members that have been on, how passionate they are about the program. I mean, the pictures you see here, those are board members supporting our youth throughout the holidays. So, they help in so many different ways, whether it's, helping with fundraisers or helping with things like that with our holiday gift giving. And of course, you saw this match earlier today, and what an impact that Joe has had on Nathan here in Monroe County, and another little sister Jordan and big sister Rachel. These are at our East Stroudsburg holiday event. So they get together, they have fun, but then there's also that guidance that goes along with it. And you just see Destiny and Jillian just earlier at Knoebels. That's an event that we do every year. And again, the support from board members, sponsorships and corporations to help pay for those outings that we provide.
One of the things that I'm sure the organization always needs is a new stream of volunteers. But tell us about what it takes to become a volunteer for Big Brothers and Big Sisters, whether it's being a mentor for a child or whether it's just helping out the organization in other ways.
Yeah, so I think throughout the whole evening, we've shared with you, we have about 15 or so littles that are on our wait list, so we are in need of bigs. So you can help out that way. We have an application process. We've made it really simple for you. You can go online actually now and do the application online. It shouldn't take more than 30 minutes or so to finish that. And we just kind of guide those bigs too through the process. So we do an orientation, we provide training, and so they're not left alone. We do support them. We have program specialists that are out there to help support them once they get matched.
And I'd like to add that Michelle and her staff are fantastic. I mean, they do a lot of one-on-one with our volunteers, you know, making sure that they have everything that they need. If they have a question, they have an issue, they have a problem, we're there to make sure that they have the resources and everything that they need to have a successful match.
If there's something that you could say, Nick, to have people, you know, to make that difference, if someone's maybe on the fence about why it's important to get involved in an organization like Big Brothers and Big Sisters, what would you say?
I would just say you know, remember back to your youth. You know, what was that one person that made a difference in your life? Try to be that person. I was lucky enough. I had a mentor when I was in college. I had mentors when I was young. So I've had a lot of influence in my life. You know, from Little League coaches to football coaches.
Yeah.
To when I was in college, I have a gentleman that I still talk to. You know, he was my mentor, and I still have some other ones that, you know, in my career, and you know, I've been doing the same thing for 29 years. So I still have mentors.
And I'm sure on the other side that's true too. I'm sure that there are people that you've been involved with as a mentor.
I have a young man that is a senior this year at my alma mater, and you know, Norwich University, and the gentleman wants to be a state trooper. We've talked a lot, so you know, he's not my little, but he is.
There's there's the connection is almost never ending, right?
Yeah, and that's what I tell people. I mean, try to look at, you know, how can you help somebody in life, and you know, take that passion to try to help people and just, you know, become a mentor.
We thank you for your passion and for your work with Big Brothers and Big Sisters, Nick. Thanks
it's
for
my
being
pleasure.
Here. Michelle, I'm
Thank
sure we're going to
you.
talk to you again before the night is through.
Yeah.
We've got other things to talk about, including some events coming up. Bowl for Kids' Sake is coming up. Make sure that you get on the website to get more information about beabigmonroe.com. It's the website here. You can also call 570-228-2303. Thanks, guys, for getting out of my way. I appreciate that. 570-228-2303. It takes many people to get a TV show going, and sometimes
It
the
does.
smallest move can make all the difference in the world. So I really want to thank you guys for that. We've got more great talent to come. We're going to update our tote board. As you see, we're getting close to $30,000. That's
Yes.
pretty exciting. What is our goal tonight?
Exactly. 50,000.
50,000. Okay, so we have a ways to go, but we're getting near the $30,000 mark. So if you want to keep the pledges coming in, we certainly appreciate it. 570-228-2303 is the number to call. And again, get to the website at beabigmonroe.com to learn how you can get involved in a young person's life. Be a big, whether it's a big brother or a big sister, you can certainly make a difference. We've got more to come, so stay with us as the 37th annual Big Brothers Big Sisters Telethon continues tonight till 8 p.m. Stay with us.
Hi, my name is Greg Pershin, former Little and Big Brothers Big Sisters Advisory Board member. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about this great program and how it changed my life. As a kid, my father passed away when I was 12 years old. I wound up being someone who just kind of sat around my room, really not doing much, playing video games and just being disconnected from the world. I got a big brother who brought me out of that shell. We'd go out and play Frisbee. He taught me how to ski, and just did a lot of cool activities and just gave me purpose in this world. A lot of my best life lessons came from him. To be a responsible person, to be a man of honor, all came from him, just teaching me some really neat stuff. Doesn't take a lot of time. Even an hour a week is a huge difference in a child's life. Gets them out of their shell, gets them out of a dark place, and just shows them that somebody cares and loves them. So I totally encourage anybody listening here to look into being in this program. If you don't have the time, help donate to this worthy cause, because they definitely need the money to help with all the projects they have to help kids. All the social workers, all the background checks, all this stuff costs money, and every donation helps keep this going. If you do have the time, again, just an hour a week can turn a child's life around. One of the biggest jokes we always talk about is who benefits more, the littles or the bigs? And both will tell you, we all think it's us, that, you know, like we got the better deal. And, you know, it's just an amazing program. Also for parents that are struggling with a child, whether you be a single parent or even parents where work or something else is preventing you from being able to mentor your kids, look into this program, because again, it is a huge blessing as a kid who went through it myself. Hope you enjoy the rest of the program, and thank you for your time. Welcome back to Talent. I'm Greg Pershin. The song I'm going to do for you is Take On Me from the band Aha. This is an unplugged acoustic version that's pretty cool, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Talking away, I don't know what I'm to say, I'll say it anyway. Today's another day to find you shying away. I'll be coming for your love, okay, and take on me. Take me on. I'll be gone in a day or two. So needless to say, odds and ends, that's me, I'm stumbling away, slowly learning that life is okay, and say after me, it's no better to be safe than sorry, and take on me. Take me on. I'll be gone in a day or two. Oh, things that you say, is it a life or just to play my worries away? You're all the things I've got to remember. You're shying away. I'll be coming for you anyway, and take on me. Take me on. I'll be gone in a day or two. I'll be gone in a day or two. In a day or two.
I never expecting that was my heart.
It's a very technical operation. It's an open heart. You know, we're in the Poconos, so the fact that you guys saved my wife's life, it's amazing.
In healthcare, we've shown many, many times that if you have a caring partner, it's a lot easier.
When we had the need, you guys answered the call.
Welcome back to the studio at the 37th Annual Big Brothers Big Sisters Telethon. I'm Chuck Cease. I want to give a shout out to Greg Pershing. You just saw him perform for us here tonight during the telethon, and he is just one of the many great performers that we've had all day long to help us get you more information and entertain you a little bit as you get a little more information about Big Brothers and Big Sisters. Well, this is a great opportunity. I'm glad you're here for this segment because we actually have a big brother and a little to talk about. We can talk about their experiences. Sean Toms and Brian Adamkowski, thank you so much for being here. Sean, you and I have worked together on a lot of events like this when you were working for Pocono Medical Center before it became Lehigh Valley Hospital Pocono, but they've been a great partner tonight with Big Brothers and Big Sisters. Tell us a little about what you're doing now.
So I am still volunteering for the hospital, but I'm now working for one of our vendors in oncology. Working with the hospital, I worked into the oncology program, which kind of captured my heart, and so I'm still there.
And you said volunteering for the hospital. Obviously, you know, volunteering is what we're talking about today for Big Brothers and Big Sisters. What encouraged you to get involved as a big with Big Brothers and Big Sisters?
So I was looking for new ways to volunteer within our community. I have a story about that.
Well,
when I
please.
was young, my mom passed away. And at the time, one of her best friends who worked for the church kind of took me in. And throughout those years of working within the church and recognizing the adults who were acting as mentors for me, I learned that as far as community goes, what you put into your community is what you get out of your community. And so that stuck with me through the years, and I just try to keep that going.
And I think there's something to be said for that, but also a lot of people will tell you that you get more than you put in. And I think you would say that you've experienced that as well?
Absolutely.
Tell us about what got you then involved with Big Brothers and Big Sisters. You took that next step to not only get involved in your community, but you know, have that one-on-one connection that bigs have with littles.
Yes. So I have been working with Big Brothers, Big Sisters over time through these telethons, actually. Usually behind the scenes, so this is my first time in front of a camera. But as I was looking for new opportunities, I stumbled across this. I heard about the telethons going on, and I had an interest in trying it out.
So let's talk to you, Brian. Thank you for being here today, and tell us about what your experience with Sean as your big has been all about, and we can even backtrack a little bit if we want to, and talk about how you first became involved with Big Brothers and Big Sisters.
How I first became involved with Big Brothers and Big Sisters was through my mom signing me up for it, like less than a year ago.
Less than a year ago.
Yeah.
And where do you live? Not address. I'm more speaking of your town.
Stroudsburg.
You're Stroudsburg resident, and so Big Brothers and Big Sisters seemed like a natural fit as your mom was looking for something to get you a little help in mentoring.
More so to get me like out of the house.
Okay.
To like do something else.
What are some of the things that you and Sean have been able to do together that you like spending time together?
We have been cooking.
Oh.
And we have also been playing Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
It's a trading card game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'm not all that familiar, but I knew that it was a card game. What type of thing? I kind of fancy myself as a little bit of an amateur chef as well. So, what kind of things do you like to cook? Is there a certain type of cuisine that you like, Italian or Chinese or French cooking or English cuisine? What do you like?
Not
or
really
American
anything.
too.
Tell me about your Alfredo.
Oh yeah, I like cooking Alfredo.
Okay.
And
yeah, we've been experimenting with the different kinds, like chicken Alfredo.
Okay. What have you settled on as your favorite then? Is there a certain that you have to have it with? Is it chicken or shrimp or something else? No? Just the noodles, just the sauce. All right, well, baby steps. Great baby steps, Brian. You can certainly branch out. Is it a love of cheese that has you infatuated with the Alfredo? Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, anybody that likes Alfredo has to like the cheese. It's a thing. It's one of the things I can't do without. I can't imagine what our world would be like without cheese, but now I'm getting cheesy. So what else do you think you might want to try and conquer in the kitchen? Have you set your sights on something else that you want to try?
No.
No.
I have not.
Okay.
No, we've been making fresh noodles.
Oh, that was where I was going to go next, because making pasta, that's a real labor of love. I mean, that's not just something that you can snap a finger and all of a sudden make pasta. They'd like to make you think that it's that easy, Sean, but no. So go through the process now. What was the most difficult thing you learned about making pasta?
Probably just like making the actual like dough for it. would be
Not many
like,
ingredients, right?
No, not many ingredients.
Flour, water, egg.
But it's hard to knead, so
Yeah.
you got to sit there and keep working it.
It's very needy, literally and figuratively. How many times do you think you had to experiment before you actually came out with a pasta that you were proud of that said, I feel like I could serve this? Because, you know, if you make a mistake in a recipe, in fact, I did it the other day. I was making a meatball recipe, and for some reason I doubled the ingredients in one thing but not on the other.
No.
And I thought, oh, well, you know, here I am in a mess. But so how many times do you think it took for you to get the pasta that you felt was really worthy of your time?
A few tries.
Like a few? Give me a hard number.
Like 2.
Really? That's pretty good. I would say if you perfected it on your 3rd try, that's pretty good. Well, I want to thank you guys for being here and want to talk about, you know, again, we talked about putting in and getting out.
Yeah.
Would you feel that this has been one of those situations where you've gotten more than you've given in this case?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is, you know, when you first go into the process, there's a lot of unknowns. You don't know what's going on exactly. There's always that nervousness of what if it's not right for me, but they have people on staff who are calling you pretty much every week.
So the support is there.
Yeah, they're reassuring you that everything's going well. They're telling you about the steps. There's an interview process, because my big fear, I guess we're getting cut off. So.
My big fear is getting cut off.
There we go.
But Brian and Sean, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having us.
We got more to come from the Big Brothers and Big Sisters Telethon, and we'll be back right after this. Welcome back, and we'd like to thank Katie Burton for another great dance performance, entertaining us here at the Big Brothers Big Sisters Telethon. We've got more to come, and we're almost through another hour here, and I'm Chuck Cease from 93.5 SBG. It's so great to have you along with us on this Sunday evening. I am honored to introduce our next guest. He's a man that has a big history with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters in this area. His name is Richard Kramer, and back in 1974, well, why don't you take us back to 1974 when the idea came into your head, and maybe you can tell us how the idea came into your head to start an organization that has had such an impact on so many young people's lives.
Well, actually, it wasn't in '74. That's when we made our first match.
Okay.
When I got the idea was in about 1970. I was serving in the United States Army during the Vietnam War, and I was stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
Okay.
And I had, because I did theater, I still do community theater. In fact, since I was about 8 years old, I did community theater. And we were doing a musical. We were doing Oliver. And there was a youngster named Stephen, and he was about 9 years old. And I started spending a certain amount of time with him for strange reasons that aren't necessarily germane. But when I got out of the service, I missed Stephen. And I came back to Wilkes-Barre where my family lived. And I didn't know too many people in the area because I hadn't grown up there. Though I had gone to some school there, but I hadn't grown up there. And I remembered the times I had with Stephen, and I decided I just wanted to be a big brother. I didn't know you had to start it in order to volunteer. So it took a while. And I remember in the early spring of '74, we got permission from Philadelphia, which was the international headquarters of the then Big Brother movement, and we could make a match. And someone said, well, we got to set up a waiting list for Big Brothers. I said, well, you put me down.
Right.
I didn't start this for no reason.
Right.
And so that's how we got matched. And it just took off from there. It took a while, but it did take off. I remember when there were 4 of us, 4 matches, and other community organizations got involved. They provided us with venues and the wherewithal to do like special events for our littles. And we had a lot of fun with that. And then over the years, it just continued to grow. And I have wonderful pictures of my little and I. And we were doing all sorts of service things together that had been prevalent from my Kiwanis Club, my JC's organization. And I remember one time we sold apple butter because that was a fundraiser they were doing. And this was just something that it needed to happen. It needed to happen for our community. And it only got better when we had little girls involved as well as little boys.
And I'm sure, you know, it must have been a great thing to be able to take that idea and to have it actually come to fruition. It's obviously had an impact in your life, or you wouldn't be here today telling us your story.
Yeah, true.
Tell us about, you know, that, you know, the hard work, or, you know, the work that you said. It was 1970. You made a match in 1974, so it was 4 years of hard work. Were there obstacles that were in your way at the time, or did you find it, you know, once you started to get the ball rolling and got other people involved, it kind of had a groundswell? Was it like that as well? Or?
Yeah, the thing that held us back was in '72, the Agnes flood came.
Oh, yeah.
And we had to kind of back burner the whole program. Well, that got resolved and people got cleaned up and people got housing again. That was a real roadblock for us.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's something that hadn't crossed my mind when, you know, thinking about what life was like in the Scranton Wilkes-Barre area. But in the early '70s, you really had to worry about it. And here you are. We're looking at a slide right now that has you with the CEO, Michelle Hamilton, of Big Brothers and Big Sisters, with a nice photo in the background of a big and their little. And that's really what it's all about, is putting people together and making a difference in someone's life. I want to ask you the same thing that I asked Nick when he was here before, one of the governing board members. Have you been able to keep a relationship with people that you've influenced as a mentor in your life?
Yes, I have. I learned, I guess when I was in the service, I learned that I could be an advocate for others in a kind of an accidental way. I ran a quality assurance section. I was in the finance corps. I was also in the Corps of Combat Engineers, because the deal that I enlisted under, you had to have a combat branch and you could have a non-combat branch. And since I had an accounting degree and I'd spent a year in law school before my draft number came up and I decided to enlist, all of which prepared me for advocating. And I didn't realize where that would land me until we did this program. And I've gone on from that program. I've course, I've tried to stay involved, but I've had 3 other large-scale community programs that all had to do with taking the reins of something. And I always tell people, I'm just a sucker for a cause. You got a cause, it'll take me in.
Now, you mentioned, why it was important to you to be a mentor and to start this program. Is there somebody in your life that was a mentor to you that gave you the insight to say, this is an important relationship to try and build?
I had a collection of mentors, wonderful people, when I was in the service, when I was in college, when I was in law school, and since then being in business, it's just been phenomenal. And what I tell my mentees now is, there are strings attached to a mentor.
Sure.
You will pay me, but I'm going to tell you something none of my mentors ever told me. Be prepared. The day will come when you're the mentor. Be prepared for that, because that's the price you pay. It's not such a terrible price.
It's a great way to just maybe not pay it forward, but keep the cycle going. Yeah. And again, we see firsthand how kids can thrive when they have a mentor in their life. It's a pretty powerful thing.
It couldn't be more important if you try it.
Yeah. Well, we want to thank you, Richard, for being here today. Really, to be the inspiration for what has become Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Northeastern Pennsylvania. That's got to feel like you've left a pretty good legacy in our community.
Kind of a shock, actually, but I love it.
Well, that's great. We thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We've got lots more to come here tonight from Big Brothers and Big Sisters. We're getting set for our final hour between 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock. You're going to get a lot more information about what's happening here with Big Brothers, Big Sisters. We're going to talk to ESU football coach Jimmy Terwilliger, who's brought some mentors to the show tonight, so we'll find out about the work that they're doing. We're also going to get some more great information. We're going to hear from the East Stroudsburg High School brass before the evening is through, and we got lots more to come. So stay with us. Again, if you'd like more information about the work that Big Brothers and Big Sisters is doing here in the area, please get online, beabigmonroe.com, call 570-228-2303. Richard, thanks again for being here. Appreciate your time and appreciate the legacy that you've created here in Northeastern Pennsylvania. We'll be back with more from the Big Brothers Big Sisters Telethon. Stay with us. We've got another hour to go here from the McGarry Communications Center at East Stroudsburg University.
And it was interesting to see what the priorities of a 7-year-old are compared to mine. I took Samir to the Natural History Museum, and all Samir wanted to do was to get a Subway sub because he saw Subway on the way in. Made me realize that I should change my expectations for what we were gonna do from that on.
As the time went on, we just grew closer, never faded, and now he's like a role model to me. It's crazy. Now I don't hesitate to text him or call him like, hey, you wanna come to my game? You wanna do something? I've gotten a lot stronger since I've been with him. Before I started lifting, I was little, but now I'm an absolute beast. You get to talk to him about stuff like that you would never talk to anybody else about, like about your personal life, and it's like he's somebody you could talk to, mentor you through everything.
As the mentor, you always kind of have anxiety, like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen him in this many months, or we haven't done anything, and I haven't done a great job. And then you hang out and you realize, like, for the past 8 years, we've been buds and friends and brothers. So like, it's nice to realize like all that quality time and relationship building is like still there, even if you might feel sometimes that you're not doing the best job as a mentor.
Tom to me has been like a brother from another mother. Even when we graduate from the system, we still gonna be hanging out, you feel me? I'm gonna come pick him up because I'm getting my permit next year. Even when we grow old, I'm 50, he's 70, 60, still gonna be hanging out together.
You're on.
All right, this is a little tribute to David Crosby. The song is Our House from Crosby, Stills, Nash. He passed away at 81 just a week ago, so he left behind so much great music. This is a video for the Big Brothers Big Sisters Telethon. That's going to be coming on Channel 13, BRC Cable, on February 26th from 4 to 8, and also YouTube channel. Big Brothers and Big Sisters is a wonderful organization throughout the country, and especially right here in Monroe County. They do a lot of really great work matching up Big Brothers and Big Sisters with youngsters that need it and older people like me that can use the exercise and the companionship as well. Thanks, gang. I will light the fire while you blaze the fire.
great talent on display here at the Big Brothers Big Sisters Telethon. Thanks to Roy for giving us some of his talent. I'm Chuck Cease from 93.5 SPG. Mark Wade is the Assistant Superintendent of Pocono Mountain School District, joining us on the couch as we kick off the final hour of the telethon tonight. And the first question I have for you is there going to be school on Tuesday?
More than likely, Chuck, it will not be any school, because if we get 10 inches of snow, we will not be going to school on Tuesday.
Mother Nature just decided that winter should make a return here in the end of February and the beginning of March. So we'll have to wait and see. We might get all of our snow this winter in 1 week. Dr. Wade, you're obviously aware of what mentoring can mean to a person. Do you have a personal story that you'd like to share with us about a mentor that may have made a difference in your life?
I shared one where I was a mentor, and yeah, I do have one where I guess I could be called a mentee. Prior to me coming to Pennsylvania, I had a teacher in my life who, made sure, checked in on me, made sure I had, what I needed. It was also my coach. I ran track and played soccer in college, and they made sure I was always had what I needed, and they kept involved in my life, and just the constant checking in on me made a big difference in my life.
Do you think it had played a part in you becoming an educator in your life?
It definitely did. It definitely did, because it's kind of like paying it forward. I was inspired by a teacher and a coach, and I became a teacher and somewhat of a coach.
Yeah, it's no surprise that athletics are involved in a lot of these stories. Coaches, they're more than coaches, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, they are mentors almost by nature of the job that they do.
Absolutely.
And obviously having that many young people, surrounding you as a coach, it makes it an interesting dynamic that I'm not sure that everybody really realizes how much of an import a person like a coach can have on their life. You're involved with students now at the Pocono Mountain West School District. Are there any peer-to-peer mentoring programs at the district that you're behind?
Actually, yes, we have peer-to-peer mentoring. We also have staff-to-student mentoring. There's a program we call Check and Connect, where we go in and each student is assigned a staff mentor, and we check in with that student every now and then. Actually, I check in with my student every morning. I stop in at East High School every morning about 7:20. I make sure he's good for the day. If he's having a rough morning, I try to get him refocused and say, okay, how are we going to make the day better? And we're going to move on and grow from. And oftentimes, I'll get an email saying, oh, I got in trouble today. And I said, okay, you got in trouble. Now, how are we going to learn from this, and how we're going to make sure it doesn't happen again?
Yeah.
So it's not always sunshine and roses, like I said earlier, but, it's always just making sure that they have someone to talk to, someone to bounce ideas off of. And, as long as you continue that partnership, I think they'll be okay.
It's a matter of trust, really.
Absolutely.
Between a mentor and a young person that, may be looking for that, but you don't know that connection is going to be there. Give an example of, what you try to do to break down that barrier and make sure that they realize that you're coming from a place of trust, that you're coming from a place where their best interests are what you have in mind.
And one of the first things when I meet my mentee, I just kind of talk about myself a little bit so they can feel a little bit more comfortable. I tell them about my background, my experiences, just because now I'm the assistant superintendent, I kind of come from a place that they're familiar with. So I grew up with my grandparents. I always let them know that my grandparents are very pivotal in my life. And my grandfather passed away, but my grandmother's still alive, and it's very key. She's one of the reasons why I never really wanted to get in trouble, because I always felt like I would disappoint her. So I always make sure I give them that background. The young man I mentor now, he's with just his mother right now, and I kind of share some experiences, and he opens up. So I think just getting that, breaking the ice is important with them.
How long have you been a member of the board of Big Brothers Big Sisters?
I've been a member of the board since 2012.
And what would be the one thing you would say to a prospective volunteer?
I would say we need you, the kids need you, and the impact that you have on a young person's life is immeasurable.
Well, we thank you for the time today. Hope that everybody is safe and sound this week with the weather coming up. I know that that'll, there's always pressure to make the right decision. And whatever decision you guys make is usually the right one. It has to be.
It has to be. As long as you keep kids in the forefront, the decisions you make always the right one.
We thank you for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your work with Big Brothers and Big Sisters. More to come as we wrap up our final hour here tonight. We're going to check our tote board when we come back. Keep the phone lines ringing at 570-228-2303. We've got more entertainment to come between now and 8 o'clock tonight. And again, you see the website right on your screen, right underneath my knee. It says beabigmonroe.com. So you can log on to that website. You can find out about volunteer opportunities. Again, there's a couple of events that are coming up that I should mention. Bowl for Kids' Sake is April 15th at Sky Lanes, and 7th Annual Golf for Kids' Sake is Monday, September 18th. More to come from the Big Brothers Big Sisters Telethon. Stay with us. Sisters Telethon. I'm Chuck Cease from 93.5 SPG. We've got about 45 minutes to go. Sam, if I could just have you take a step backwards, you'd be great. There we go. Our new tote board total, $34,138. And we've got a little bit ways to go. We got about 45 minutes to get it done, too. So keep the phone lines ringing at 570-228-2303. We got lots more great entertainment to come. But right now, we've got another big and a little, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say, Mike, you're the little. Chase, you're the big. Did I get that right?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Chase Mattioli is on the Monroe County board here of Big Brothers and Big Sisters. And Mike tells me that you guys have been matched up for about 3 years.
Yeah, so Mikey and I met, I believe, the month before the lockdown started with the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
So it was definitely very interesting when we got to know each other. We had to figure out
how to actually hang out when we couldn't hang out.
Right, right.
So we ended up playing a lot of games. He's way into Fortnite and some other stuff. So luckily, he's a lot more tech savvy than I am, so it worked out.
I'm stuck on a training level on Fortnite. I can't even get past that, so I'm in deep trouble when it comes to video games. What else do you like to play? What other games do you like?
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, that's a classic. How many
Minecraft.
Call of Duty titles are there now? I mean, I think I lost count.
I only know 4.
Oh, 4. I think there's more than 4, but yeah, you enjoy that game as well?
Yeah.
What do you find that you like most about playing video games? What is it? Is it playing a fantasy role, or is it talk about what makes it so much fun for you?
I like just beating like levels in some games and like just beating the game.
Okay.
Or leveling up.
You like any of the superhero games?
Yeah.
Batman, Arkham City, and all those?
Yeah.
Remember those games, man? I'll tell you what. Well, Chase, talk about what it's like, not only for you as a board member, but why it's important to you to have a mentee like Mikey in your life.
Definitely. So when I grew up, my parents both worked, so finding different ways to get outside was really hard for them because they were just time and busy. So I had a lot of people in my community that really just jumped in and were pseudo mentors for me. And when I moved back to the area a few years ago, I just knew it was something that I really wanted to do. So I've heard about the Big Brothers program forever and reached out to Michelle and the other people here. And within a week, I got all my paperwork processed. I was in the system, and I think it was like 2 weeks later I met you. Yeah, and it's been awesome since.
What are the things that you guys find to do together? Obviously, playing video games is one, but I'm sure there's more things than that.
What do we do, Mikey?
We cook. We go rock climbing, snowboarding, see movies. We went to like Legoland.
You had me hooked on cooking. You might have seen the guest that was in before. Sean and Brian were here talking before. So what do you like to cook?
We cooked pizza, like a deep dish pizza, I think.
Nice.
Was it deep dish?
Yeah.
Pork chops and like Earth cookies, Earth Day cookies.
Earth Day cookies. Tell me about that recipe.
So we got a bunch of food coloring and basically made little tiny Earths out of cookie, and we ate like maybe 20 of them. Yeah, it was a good day.
Very cool, very cool. What kind of things are you interested in school right now, Mikey?
I'm in some sports.
Okay.
I did wrestling and cross country, and now both seasons end, so I'm doing track.
Track. What's your specialty in track? Are you a distance guy, or a sprint guy, or a relay guy?
I'm probably gonna do like sprints and hurdles.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. Well, Chase, your family background has something to do with athletics. It's not maybe playing a sport, but it certainly is considered to be a major sport. Has that had any influence in your helping Mikey get involved with different sports?
Definitely, yeah. When I was Mikey's age, that's when I started racing cars, and I raced until I was about 21, 22, so about 10 years ago. So balancing schoolwork with athletics is super important to me. Putting yourself out there and kind of like having that type of risk that sports like allow you to do was definitely something that was important to me. And I know Mikey has loved it since like he's gotten involved in stuff. Mikey never wrestled before this year, and then he did amazing. He just started doing track and cross country, so it's cool the amount of confidence I see building in him the more he does this stuff.
Now, each sport, we'll talk a little bit about that, wrestling and track and field. I mean, they're two completely different disciplines, so to speak. I mean, when you're on a track, you're racing against the clock as well as the other people that are on the track with you. But when you're on that wrestling mat, it's mano a mano, one-on-one, and it's got to be a little bit of a different mindset. What do you like about each of those activities?
Well, wrestling, I have 2 older brothers, 21 and 19.
Oh, they can show you all the moves then.
Well, no, I just got into a lot of fights, and I was like, wow, I like fighting, so I'm going to join wrestling.
That's a good way to, to take your aggression out a little bit, I would say. And what about track and field?
I just love, like, running. I also run in the woods sometimes with my friends.
That's what cross country is all about, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Talk about, what do you think Chase gets out of spending time with you?
Having fun with me.
That's a cool answer enough, really, because we've talked about it with all the mentors that have been here. The time that you put in and the effort that you put in, you get out more than you put in.
Oh, without a doubt. It's funny, when you first start with the big brothers, you don't really know what you're getting yourself into. I didn't have any actual little brothers, and I never really hung out with kids, prior. So I was like, what am I going to do? And I remember the first day I met Mikey, he's like, hey, you want to see me hang out of this tree by my legs? And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. Please don't fall. It's my first day.
That's right.
But since then, it's basically been similar to that. We always go do something new, something more fun. And we mentioned rock climbing. I'd always wanted to do it, and something my family didn't really do with me. We didn't have the opportunity. So I was like, heck yeah, now I do. Let's go. And it's been fun since.
And that was something that the two of you experienced together for the first time?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And it was funny because I had to belay him, which was tie the knot. And he's like, do you know what you're doing? And I'm like, not really, but I won't drop you.
Well, that's good. We talk about trust. I was talking about it with Dr. Wade, who was here just a minute ago. That's a lot of trust when you put your hands literally in that person's life when they've got control of that rope. What's the funnest part about rock climbing for you?
Just to like see how high you can go and like try the harder and harder walls, because there's like different levels. And I started from like the easiest and then I went to like the hardest one in the room.
Do you think free climbing is something you want to get into in your life?
Yeah.
That scares me. God, you're a braver man than I ever will be, Mikey. That's for sure. I appreciate your time, guys. Thank you so much for being here today. Chase, as a board member, what would you say to somebody that wants to get more information about Big Brothers and Big Sisters?
Definitely go to the Big Brothers website. There's tons of information there. Follow them on social media. Really, you just Google them. You'll find everything you need to know. And then whether you call in and ask for more information or just do the application online, it's pretty easy once you just put yourself in the system. And like I said, 2 weeks we were matched.
There you go. A success story in the making for sure. You can get more information online at beabigmonroe.com. And again, we'd like you to keep the phone lines ringing this evening for another 25 minutes or so. 570-228-2303. Back with more from the studio. We got more great talent to enjoy right now.
We're here.
We are here with our match of Big Brother Sean and little brother Bryant doing the newly matched game. All right, so for Sean, about Bryant, what is Bryant's favorite color? Red, excellent. They definitely are starting to get to know each other. All right, next question for Sean about Bryant. What is Bryant's favorite school subject?
Ready?
Science, excellent. All right, next question for Sean about Bryant. What is Bryant's favorite game?
How do I spell that? Sounding it out here, so.
Terranium?
Terrarium.
Terrarium, excellent. Okay, what is Bryant's favorite animal? A dog, excellent. All right, we're gonna move on to our next set of questions. So these are Brian, for you about Sean. So kind of get to know him. All right, so for Brian, what is Sean's favorite food? Sushi, excellent. All right. What is Sean's favorite game?
I don't know if I have one. Oh, I do. I know what it is. Dungeons and
Dungeons
Dragons.
and Dragons. Okay, and for last question, what is Sean's favorite color?
Clouds. If you get the specific name, I'll give you props. Go with the simple one. Oh, you got the right one. I'm impressed.
All right, excellent. I think you guys know each other pretty good right now for being a new match. Well, thank you so much, Sean and Brian. We really appreciate you doing the newly matched game for us. Thank you.
I'm impressed. I didn't think you'd remember Galactica.
Are back. We've expanded the couch. Look at that. You can do a lot of things when you have 4 minutes to kill. I'm Chuck Cease from 93.5 SBG. We've got about a half an hour left to go. We've got a new total for you as well. Our goal is $50,000 tonight. We are at $36,938. And that means we've got a little bit of while to continue to raise money here for Big Brothers and Big Sisters. I am joined on the couch by numerous students from East Stroudsburg University. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. And I'm going to go to the far end of the couch. I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself, your grade, and the sport that you play here at ESU.
Hi, I'm Carly. I'm a junior on the women's basketball team.
I'm JD. I'm a sophomore, and I'm on a field hockey team.
I'm Leah. I'm a senior on the field hockey team.
My name is Rebecca, and I am a senior. I'm on the women's soccer team.
Okay.
I'm also Leah, and I'm a junior on the women's basketball team.
I'm Trenton. I'm a freshman on the football team.
Why is it important for you guys to be here to talk about your experience at East Stroudsburg University? And I'll start, Carly, you can go ahead and take that. It doesn't matter that the answers are all the same. That's okay. I want to get everybody's answer. We're going to go right down the row.
I think just being somebody who's like gone through it, being able to speak on the positive experiences that I've gained from it is like makes me a good person to talk about it.
Yeah, I think for me it's like sharing how much fun I have here and like how important my teammates are for me here. I just want to share that. So.
Yeah, I think everybody has a really unique experience here at ESU, and it provides for a lot of different opportunities. And I think just sharing how different our experiences can be, because obviously we're all athletes, but different sports and different experiences are really important to share.
Yeah, basically the same as Leah. I think it's really neat, all the different experiences that we get as college athletes, especially at the Division II level. It's not D1, it's not D3, so there's that kind of in between, and it's really cool the different kind of experiences and unique things we can experience from that.
Leah?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's cool, like all the people you get to meet and the positive impacts that like the sport and people that it brings to your lives it can have on you. It's really cool.
All right.
I just think it's really important to talk about the positive impact that the school has on you, to get people to reach out and hopefully donate. So
yeah. It's
No,
really a
you're fine,
donation of time. It's a donation of money as well. And both of those things help keep the program going. As student athletes, you're always interacting with each other as a member of a team. Mikey was here before. He's a cross-country runner, and maybe that's more of an individualized thing. But as a member of a basketball team or a member of a soccer team or a field hockey team, you guys are relying on each other. And a lot of times that can be things that are off the field. Maybe you're having a difficult time with a class or a course that you're going through. Maybe you're having a difficult time with a person that's living down the hall from you in the dorm. How does that, you're all going through this experience together. And I think that's the one thing, that even as a child looking for somebody to be a positive influence in their life, the fact that you have somebody to bounce things off of, I don't think there's a value that you can put on that.
Yeah. Being together, it helps because you form relationships that will never break. I mean, you'll have people that will come to your wedding, people that will last forever, and I think that's just like a great thing that everybody should experience in their life.
And I would say that most of you all, and correct me if I'm wrong, but most of the teams here at East Stroudsburg University, they have opportunities for you to deal with the younger people, whether it's a freshman coming onto your team and you might be a senior or a junior, or whether it's a Women in Sports Day or Breakfast with the Warriors, when you have the opportunity to show a young person what's going on in your life. How important was that for you
coming onto campus here at East Stroudsburg as a freshman? Or was there a time when you were in high school when you really felt like you needed to have someone other than your mom or a dad or maybe a teacher or a coach to bounce something off of? Leah, I'll start with you.
I think it's really important. I had a lot of really good female role models to look up to in sports, and I think that really impacted the way I view the game and the way that I view life. And yeah.
Anybody else?
I can go. So I think Leah and Carly can probably agree, but we came in, our COVID year was our freshman year.
Okay.
So actually our fall we were at home, or we didn't have school here. I didn't have a season my freshman year, and so at least for me as a freshman, it's already nerve-wracking coming into college and stuff. But being home made it even harder because you didn't meet everyone. But having the older girls reach out over the phone and call every week and things like that kind of made it so much nicer when we eventually got here in person and stuff. So now that we're older, we make it a really big deal to make sure our freshmen coming in are really comfortable, even first day, first everything. And we also mentor a little youth team. So they'll come to a practice, they'll walk out with us during games. So even things like that, it's just makes it so much bigger than just the sport itself.
What does it mean to have little, young people in your life, whether they're littles or not, in quotes? But what does it mean to have, a young person looking up to you? Do you feel like it puts pressure on you, Carly?
I think it's a little bit of pressure knowing that somebody's looking up to you as an example, but we started where they are, so I think it's an awesome opportunity and a good relationship.
What you just said there really, my father said it to me when I was a young boy. I said it to my son when he was a young boy. We've all been through similar, maybe not exactly the same, but we've all, gone down paths in our lives where we needed somebody, to step in and just, hey, you might need to check yourself here and something like that. And sometimes it can be very, an insignificant thing in the greater scheme of things. But at that moment when you're thinking, I don't know how I'm going to get through this next moment right now. And I'm sure that you've all been there and you've all had situations like that. How have people been there to help you through situations like that?
I think for me it's really important that I'm not from the US, I'm from the Netherlands, so my teammates, my coaches, my friends here are so important for me, and they really help to get me through everything. If I'm sad, they're here for me. So I think it's really important to have people around you who know what you're going through too, especially with sports and school, combining all of that. So I'm really thankful for having everyone around me.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I think, like you said, I think especially coming in or anything like that, there's, at least for my team, 35 of us who are going through the same thing. We have the same schedule, we have the same practice, whether that's hard or easy, we go through the same fitness tests and things like that. So just having 35 other people to rely on or lean on at any time, whether that's on or off the field, I think that's really special.
Do you have friends that are not in athletics that maybe don't have that shared experience that you guys have as members of a team, and do you find sometimes that they're actually asking for your advice because of the experience you have as a member of a team?
I would say definitely, because if you don't have that experience with a team, it's really hard to learn from certain things in life. Being involved with a team, I've had many opportunities to learn and grow, and because they forced me to. Whether you're trying to find a starting spot, you got to grow and you got to improve every day. And being with your brothers is just, it's an experience that nothing compares to. So when you have someone that doesn't play in sports, I try to bring them along and have a group of friends with them that can try to give them that feel that I get from being involved in a team.
Well, I want to thank you all for sharing your experiences here. I know we've got some basketball players here. Go Warriors tomorrow night, weather permitting, at Millersville. The soccer team had a great fall season, and the field hockey and lacrosse teams continue to have great seasons here.
ESSA Bank and Trust loves giving back and financially supporting the communities, organizations, and people we have the privilege to serve. ESSA offers a full suite of business and personal banking solutions with 21 locations in the Pocono region, Lehigh Valley, and Greater Philadelphia area. Visit ESSAbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
I never expecting that was my heart.
It's a very technical operation. It's an open heart. You know, we're in the Poconos, so the fact that you guys saved my wife's life, it's amazing.
In healthcare, we've shown many, many times that if you have a caring partner, it's a lot easier.
When we had the need, you guys answered the call.
We are back, and we've got another group of students from the what is it, Jimmy? Student Athlete Advisory Committee. I need it written down. If it's not written down, I'm in trouble. But I'd like them all to introduce themselves, starting at the far end, and we'll work our way down.
All right. My name is Hunter. I'm on the men's soccer team, and I'm a senior.
My name's Andrew. I'm on the men's cross country and track and field team, and I'm a freshman.
My name's Mia. I'm on the women's soccer team, and I'm a freshman.
My name's Nina. I'm on the swim team, and I'm a sophomore.
My name is Madison. I'm a junior, and I'm on the swim team.
My name is Deshaun. I'm on the football team, and I'm a senior.
Well, thank you all for being here today. As members of the committee that you're on, you're dealing with, whatever student athletes are dealing with. You guys have an opportunity to help solve problems of student athletes, and that is something that I think is often overlooked. And when you have the opportunity to kind of take ownership of something, and that's kind of what Big Brothers and Big Sisters is all about, taking ownership of the time that you have, that the life that you have, and what you want to share with other students. Hunter, can you talk to me about what it is like to have this peer group working together for a common goal on campus?
Yeah, it's really a great thing. I think just because a lot of people just see us as athletes on the field and not what we do behind the scenes. And so one of these things, like the Student Athlete Committee, is huge because we get to come together, talk about the problems that we have with our sport, and we come to a solution to make it better for us and then for generations to come, whether it be rules or how we can make things off the field more fun with each other. So it's really a great thing that we do, and I think it's a lot of fun that we do.
This question is going to be an open question for anybody on the couch, so please feel free. But when you're dealing with issues, why is it important to have other members of other teams and not just the soccer team as one group and the field hockey team as another group? Why is it important to be able to hear from all the athletes in all the sports? Anybody?
Well, I feel as though it's always good to get input from other teams because every team goes through different things, and I feel like if we all come together, we can all find a different way to solve things. I know, like football, we can do things, and we can have our ways, but then I can probably go to soccer, I can go to field hockey, or I can go to lacrosse, like just to get their input to see how they take things in.
Nina, I'm going to ask you the same question.
Yeah, like basically what he said, everybody has their own ways, and like all the sports are very different. There's different rules for every sport. There's different, like swimming I know is more of like an individual sport, and like football is not. Football is more of like a team sport.
Yeah, unless you're on a relay team, right?
Yeah, unless you're on a relay.
So you're in the pool,
yeah,
and you're really racing the other competitors, but you're also really racing the clock.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, of course we're very close as a team, but everything's different. Mm-hmm. So basically like everything's different, so everyone's gonna have different input.
Is it fair to say that you've all experienced mentors in your life at some point or another, and would any of you like to share how that mentor made a difference in your life and maybe made you a better athlete, or maybe even made you decide that you wanted to be an athlete, and maybe sports wasn't something you were thinking about? Anybody?
Well, I can share my view just because I'm the youngest in my family, so I've always had others to look up to and just see kind of what they do and try to follow in their steps. And so all my other siblings have played sports, and I've tried to just follow along their footsteps. And it's a huge thing having a mentor, just because without that, you kind of can sometimes get lost. You might not know what to do, best decisions. So having that mentor is just a great thing to have in order to push you in the right direction and give you that confidence and encouragement to really try your best and do something you might not want to do.
Anybody else? Well, Hunter, then I'm going to go right back to you because I know you have an older brother on the team, on the men's soccer team. What's that dynamic been like for you?
Yeah, so that's actually my twin brother. We have basically lived together our whole lives. We've shared a room our whole lives, and it's honestly a great thing. It's always having a best friend by your side, and it's great to have him around. Just like I said, you're always having someone there to talk to in order if you need some encouragement or maybe you're stuck in a situation. So that's why Big Brothers Big Sisters is a huge thing, just because you're able to talk to someone if you have a problem, and it's great to be able to solve it.
Now, again, this is emblematic, I guess, of athletes that are in a team setting. How important is it for you to know that you can bounce things off of your teammates, whether it's in your sport or not in your sport? And are there examples of that where you've been able to, maybe work through something with someone? They needed that, that extra perspective, that different set of eyes on whatever they were going through. Nina, you look like you were about to say something.
Yeah, what I was just gonna say is, like, especially with my team's small. We only have 15 girls, I think it is. So we all have each other's back at the end of the day. So I know, like, if we had a girl having an injury this year and somebody had to swim something that they didn't want to swim, we all have each other's back. We all do. We're just all so close. So.
Deshaun, you're the member on the couch here that actually has an experience being a big brother. You decided to take that step and take that leap and become a mentor in a young person's life. What's that been like for you?
It's been great. I get a different perspective of how it is to have a younger brother. I mean, I have 2 younger sisters at home, but I feel like it's different when you have a different person that you have to take care of and you got to look out for. I mean, he asked me questions. He's really a real good kid. He's really smart. We went to the movies the other day, so it's fun so far.
What'd you guys see?
Ant-Man.
Oh yeah, was it? Now, I don't want you to give any spoilers, but there are so many people who are like, "Oh, this is the second worst Marvel movie ever." I mean, you got to just take it for what it is, right?
Yeah, you got to take it for what it is.
Good. Thank you. Now I can go see it.
Okay.
Guys, I want to thank you all for being here and helping us support Big Brothers and Big Sisters. It is something that, obviously you realize how important it is in your life, and we thank you for sharing your stories tonight. We've got more to come. We've got about 10 minutes left of the telethon tonight. Again, if you'd like to get more information, you can check on the website. That is beabigmonroe.com, and keep the phone lines ringing at 570-228-2303. Back with more to come from the 37th Annual Big Brothers and Big Sisters Telethon here at East Stroudsburg University.
Hello, I'm Richard Kramer, and I've been asked to speak to you about how Big Brothers Big Sisters came to Northeast Pennsylvania. I'm often asked about my involvement in this program, why I got involved in it. This is why. Quite simply, I wanted to mentor a youngster. I had just been separated from active service with the United States Army in early 1971, and I came home wanting to replicate that experience. I never thought I'd have to begin a new organization to accomplish that. Initially, I knew nothing about working in social services, but I got good advice from our United Way and Chamber of Commerce. Through them, I was able to inform other organizations and individuals that I was working to bring a youth mentorship program to our area. Soon I joined the JCs of Greater Wilkes-Barre. When I naively asked if they'd take the program on as a project, they put me in charge. It was then that some fine community people began contacting me to offer their assistance. Accordingly, somebody knowledgeable suggested we needed to perform a county-wide survey to document the need for such a resource. We mailed questionnaires to all the schools, churches, and youth recreational programs we could think of. When most of these questionnaires returned, we found that we collected a potential client base of about 3,000 youngsters between the ages of 7 and 14 who could benefit from the services of a big brother or big sister. This brings us to the spring of 1972. That's when our plans were all put on hold while the region recovered from the Agnes flood of June the 23rd of that year. In the fall, I received a phone call from Monsignor Donald McAndrews, Executive Director of Catholic Social Services of Wyoming Valley. That call led to the agency adopting our program, Information, as a part of its new Bridge program. Henceforth, the program would be known as Big Brothers, Big Sisters of the Bridge. We began making matches in May 1974. My little brother and I were proud to be the first pairing in this new resource. The program has gone on to be recognized as one of the top 25 Big Brother, Big Sister programs in the country. All of this might never have happened were it not for the foresight and dedication of the late Monsignor Donald McAndrews. The program soon began creating activities for the pairs. There were only 4 matches then, but there would soon be many more. 2 caveats emerged. We learned that we didn't need to create activities for our matches. Rather, we learned to integrate them into our daily lives. We also learned that we were not recruited to become glorified babysitters, but professionally supervised role models. Along the way, we formed bonds that lasted a very long time and touched the future. I'm grateful to have played a small role in making that future a reality.
And welcome back. We are just about ready to wrap things up tonight here at the 37th Annual Big Brothers Big Sisters Telethon. I'm Chuck Cease from 93.5 SBG. Michelle Hamilton, the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeastern Pennsylvania. The thing that I have taken from the last 2 hours is a pretty inspiring tale that is a common thread of almost all the bigs that we spoke to, including Richard Kramer, who started the whole program here. But it's really about the not the ability, but the desire to share of yourself, because that's really what mentoring is. It's sharing something that you have an interest in, or giving of yourself and the time so that someone else can express an interest that they have. I mean, we talked to Mikey and Chase Mattioli about the fact that Chase had never done any rock climbing before, and here was his opportunity to experience something, but also have the experience of experiencing through Mikey's eyes.
Right.
And that just, is really overwhelming and inspiring.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that when I'm listening to all these match stories tonight and just hearing how impactful both of them have on each other, right? New experiences, new things that they've been able to, see through someone else's eyes. That's what it is. That's what it's all about.
I was also interested in knowing if it's a typical thing in Chase's case. And he said it took about 2 weeks from the time that he applied to the time that he actually got a match. Is that something that's a typical experience for a big in this program?
So it all depends. It really does. It depends on where the big is located and where the little is located. We try to look at the 30-mile radius, if you will. If we have a big that's in the same town or area, that's what makes it go a little bit faster. But it's all also if the volunteer gets all of their paperwork in, then we can get them matched a lot faster. And we've got a lot of littles, that are on our wait list.
I was just going to say, let's talk a little bit about the wait list. Here's one that we're seeing. Isa is 12 years old, enjoys playing Fortnite, baseball, colors, tacos, and Papa John's pizza. There's got to be somebody out there that seems like a great match for Isa Kareem. Great is 11 years old. He enjoys playing sports like football and playing outside and cooking and going swimming and fishing and riding bikes. And he would like his big to help him with trying to ignore people when they get him in situations to keep his mind to himself. That's interesting. That's a deep desire.
It's a goal.
But it is. It's a life goal, and that's what Big Brothers and Big Sisters can do. Here's Esmeralda, who's 11 years old, enjoys watching, drawing, coloring, and watching Jessie, doing crafts, playing games, having movie days, and going to McDonald's, and wants a big to help her grow her art skills and knowledge. She feels that having a friend would be the best part of having a big. And we talked about the time investment. It is a time investment, but you know that it's quality time. You're getting something out of it whether you realize it or not.
Yeah. The quality time, 1 to 3 hours a week if possible, even connecting. I heard one of our bigs texts or calls every other day. I mean, that's amazing. And we are so proud and thankful for our bigs who are in our program right now. They go above and beyond.
Well, you've seen a lot of examples of that here today as well. Our total is starting to increase.
Yeah.
$39,403 right now. If you'd like to make a last-minute pledge, we would certainly love to hear from you by calling 570-228-2303. We talked a little bit about some of the events that are coming up, but let's circle around to that, because you've got the Bowl for Kids' Sake coming up in April. I love that event.
Yeah, we got April 15th at Sky Lanes. Come out, form a team, be a sponsor if you want to be a sponsor and don't want to bowl. You can also go online to our website and you can make donations online if you can't bowl, and just do some crowdfunding. So April 15th, sign up, 10 to 4, and looking to get that going again. It's been 3 years that we've done bowl, so that's fun. And then we've got the golf tournament in September. We changed the date, but we'll be back at Shawnee Inn and Golf Resort. It's a fun day out on the links. It's a great course.
Now, simultaneously here with the telethon tonight, we've had an auction going.
And we do. We have 8 o'clock, so you don't have very much time.
Yeah, only got about 3 minutes to bid.
I know before Alice talked about it, we've got some great prizes. We've got some coffee baskets. We've got some outings. We've got Skytop Lodge, golf course outing. So get over to the website and click on the link.
And a reminder, we've been talking about some of the bigs. 15 are on your waiting list right now. How do you manage a situation like that? Do you stop the waiting list when it gets to a certain size, or you never want to turn anybody away from what can be a real life-changing relationship? We
haven't turned anyone away. That's come on. I mean, we do have a wait list. We try to engage them by doing some activities for them. So if you are on the wait list, we've done activities and held events for them so that they still are engaged with us until they get a match or a big.
So what can we expect now, this money that we raise here in the telethon tonight, how is this then used for program services?
So it is used for things like I just mentioned, going to Knoebels, for example. We have an event in June that we invite all of the matches to come out. It helps us, support the one-to-one mentoring relationships. So we do match support. So that's part of the program. So our bigs are, connected with our program specialists back at the office. And so that's part of what the funds are used for.
We would be remiss if we didn't thank some of the sponsors that have been with us all afternoon here tonight, including Kramer Sweats, McManus and Jordan, the PSECU, Vigon with a passion for simplicity, Royal Chemical, and VLD Electric. Again, thanks to those sponsors. We couldn't do it without them.
No, we could not, and we could not do it without our board members, our committee that has been planning for 8 months to see this culmination. It's been so wonderful to have all of our matches on the couch, or most of our matches on the couch, and able to share their story.
Well, again, we'd like to thank everybody for their support tonight. Michelle, I know that there are literally a cast of thousands of people that support the Big Brothers and Big Sisters organization, whether it's through volunteering or whether it's being a board member, being a sponsor, being a staff member at Big Brothers and Big Sisters. It is one big family, and it's all about trying to maybe put an extra family member in someone's life, because that's what a mentor can be.
And that's our theme, bigger together.
Yeah.
And this year we need the bigs, and we need the board members. So if you're interested in being on the board, we'd love to have you. And any corporations, and we've got a great program starting and launching. So check us out on our website.
Yeah, that's really the best place to get information. beabigmonroe.com. Again, beabigmonroe.com. Well, again, thanks to all the great talent that we've had here this afternoon and this evening. Again, we couldn't do it without their support as well.
Yeah, it's great talent this year.
We want to thank everybody for their support and their efforts here tonight with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters Telethon. Again, I'll remind you, April 15th, Bowl for Kids' Sake at Sky Lanes, and September 18th, it's the 7th annual Golf for Kids' Sake tournament. Michelle, we got to get going.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Have a great night.
You are watching BRC 13.